He hasn't actually played for the last couple of games for St Patrick's Stone in the league, but Kelly, he's back in today, in the fold early on, and he points from that scoring. All of a sudden it's a 2-point game, and that's better than St Patrick's Stone. You know, when Derrylin got that goal, they went 4 up, but a good response from St Patrick's Stone through Montgomery and Kelly.
Yeah, they lost a couple of bracken balls in midfield, so they got a quick ball inside and it paid dividends.
Nice pass out from Pius Martin, the goalkeeper, to Danny Leonard, 1-2 with Declan McGovern, but St Patrick's Stone are not making it easy for Derrylin to come out here.
No, pressing up really high, making it difficult.
So Michael Montgomery closes in on Danny Leonard, but searching ball, but that's going to fall nicely to Thomas Cadden, and St Patrick's Stone look to build again. And well, wouldn't you know, through Eamon Maguire just looking for a bit of support, and it's, well, was Montgomery pulled back there? The referee says he was, and that's a fine ball from Michael Montgomery. It made it fall nicely to Ryan Kelly. Kelly's going to have to do plenty here. Good defending, and defend by Earl. There's not many players go past Eamon going too handy.
No, Eamon's big and strong, and he's honest as the day is long, so he done well there.
James Dolan with the free to James Boyle, just looking for support, looking for numbers to see who could be moving. Of course, Derrylin well used to this Brewster Park surface, having played against Cove over the past couple of weeks in the 2020 junior final, and as the championships loom large in the next couple of 2-3 weeks, you've Derrylin versus Definition Intermediate, and St Patrick's Stone are facing Newtown Butler in the junior football championship. But of course, both sides in Division 1 for 2022.
Yeah, bad error there, just a short free kick, and it's went the way of St Pat's now, and they're on the attack.
Eamon Curran moving pretty sharpish, but good defender by Smith. The referee says that's in behind. Well, Curran's done well. He's getting the ball and he's going at the Derrylin defence, and well, he's fouled again. That's the second time Eamon Curran's been fouled on a scoreable free. Yeah,
well, I think that's what management will be telling them. The ability of Curran, he's taking players on at every opportunity, he's committing the tackle, and again there's another scoreable free for St Pat's.
Ryan Kelly, I remember when he was in his man of minor years again Antrim, he was free taker, and he's free taker still of course for St Patrick's Stone now, and here is Ryan Kelly stepping up, and he points pretty easily there, and all of a sudden from conceding that goal, St Patrick's Stone have responded with 3 fine scores from Montgomery and 2 from Kelly, and it's a pretty even game so far, Ryan.
It is. Park very enjoyable. A lot of good matchups out the field as well, so Derrylin are struggling to get the ball out with St Pat's high press, and it's worked in the last 2 or 3 scores in St Pat's favour.
So Derrylin looking to brush forward here again. Josh Smith to Danny Leonard, the long hair of Danny Leonard, just looking for a bit of support. Who can he see? Looks for a bit of support. And he finds that to James Boyle. James Boyle in the middle of the field. Better this from Derrylin. They haven't done much since scoring that goal, and they're probably going to get another marker here. Conal McManus. Recycling ball constantly, but that's better play from Dara O'Reilly. It was brilliant play from Dara O'Reilly. And to Eamon Maguire, and all of a sudden St Patrick's Stone are slowly getting on top of this game. It's Michael Montgomery looks for a bit of support. Montgomery lets it long to Brian McDermott. He slips on the Brewster Park surface, and Nigel Sweeney stays off the ground. It could have went either way, but Busakovic done well, and Busakovic got the free out, and better that from Derrylin. Here's Conal McManus right in front of his manager Aidan Gilroy. To Louis Leonard. Here's this man, James Dolan again. Dolan to Conal McManus. He's looking for support. You just feel Derrylin's just missing something in the forward line at the moment, and it goes to Owen Maguire, route 1, and that's a brilliant catch, and well, didn't sufficiently catch it, so no mark, but Owen Maguire was unlucky there. The fast Eamon Curran again. There's a bit of a live wire, and Declan Curry probably knows that early on. Montgomery, low ball in again to Brian McDermott. This time he gets it. He's 4 Derrylin men round him. Out to the substitute, Ryan Kelly. Kelly's looking for a bit of support, but that's better play by Eamon Gunn this time. And the recycled ball comes back out again to Thomas Cadden. It's patient build up. Here's Ian Maguire, can he put something on it? It's high and it's up in the air from Owen Curran, and that's a fantastic score from Owen Curran. And after a long passage of play right before the water break, St Patrick's Stone have had 4 in a row and they'll be very happy with that response.
Yeah, that was a score worth 2 scores. Correct, there was about 4 or 5 turnovers there in 60 to 90 seconds. Have to admit, the referee done really well there. He let the game flow when he could have given a free kick, and the challenge inside was never a free, and Donor done well, as you said. They recycled the ball and came out and got it to the shooter.
So as you join us here, it's of course Derlin 1-3, St Patrick's Down in 0-6 in the first water break. Anybody joined us, of course, bit of an announcement there, just that there was no internet connection here sadly for the first 10 minutes, so the game's going out now free of charge, and anybody that has paid will be getting their money back. So apologies on that there. With the internet connection, of course, we always know around Fermanagh there's not much we can do about it. But it's a pretty even game. Of course, both sides will be happy with promotion in the bag, but you always want to win a trophy as well, Ryan.
Oh, definitely. Just to go back to that park, anybody didn't get to watch the first 10 minutes, they were very good. It was an enjoyable 10 minutes, so join us here now, all evens. But yeah, it's all on the day park, and winning breeds winning, and Derlin have that the last X number of weeks. So can they push on now? Because I think St Pat's the last 5 minutes of this half, of this quarter, have been much better.
Of course, it was a Jake Smith goal that pushed Derlin 1-3 to 2 points ahead, but since that, the likes of Ryan Kelly and Michael Montgomery have come on and done brilliantly to kick some fantastic points, as we see Derlin fullback Declan Curry coming off, and Aaron McGoldrick with 12 is coming on, and well, Aaron McGoldrick's not a bad substitute to bring on. Aaron McGoldrick, of course, isn't a bad substitute to bring on.
No, not at all. Porrick, he looked to get on the ball in the middle third and drive a bit like Montgomery's doing for St Pat's. So an early change by Derlin on the back of how well St Pat's have been doing.
Yeah, of course, both sides making early substitutions, with Jimmy Tormey going off for Ryan Kelly, and well, Conor McManus goes for it, but just wide. And both sides making early substitutions. Ryan Kelly, of course, coming off for St Patrick's Stone for Jimmy Tormey, and now Declan Curry going off for Aaron McGoldrick. Of course, this is the Division 2 final. Later on at 3 p.m. we have Derry Gunley Harps against Enniskillen Gales for the Division 1 League Trophy. Ryan, how do you see that game going?
Oh, it's one for the ages. I think those in Enniskillen Gales have been looking for the youth to come through the conveyor belt the last couple of years, and it's come to fruition now. So it'll be a very interesting game. I think the pressure's probably more on Derry Gunley than it is in Enniskillen Gales, but I'll probably go for Derry Gunley and that's it in the fence.
I suppose as we were watching there, James Dolan again makes another fantastic mark. James Dolan's been really impressive here so far. As you said yourself, he really showed Owen Donnelly a thing or two in that junior championship final.
Yeah, he's coming of age, Porrick. As I said, every game he seems to be getting stronger. He's really strong, committed fielder, great ball carrier, and he can pick a score as well. Everything, all the attributes you'd want from a midfielder.
And a bit of a worry here for St Patrick's Down with the experience Ian Maguire down. That's certainly one player you would not want coming off, especially the way he's been playing lately in the last couple of league games for St Patrick's. But there seems a bit of a worry here for Eamon.
There is. He makes them tick, Porrick. Many times St Pat's get the ball, they're looking to get it to Eamon because he's their creator from the middle third.
Of course, both these sides managed by two men maybe not involved too much with their clubs. Balling the screens, Paul Hassan, who's travelling to the guts of 70 miles. And then you've Aidan Gilroy of Derlin, probably more known for his Erony connection. So two managers who have done very well at getting promotion. St Patrick's Stone, of course, 50 years old this year, so the big 50th anniversary planned. And Division 1, of course, is where every team wants to be, and it's the trophy of a bonus, I suppose, at the end of the season before the championship looms.
Yeah, I think Division 1's one of them things where it's actually harder to get out of Division 2, but then you get Division 1, it's easier to stay in it when you're in it, so I think they've both done the tough task.
long ball in with James Dolan, but just doesn't work out. But yeah, definitely you see your Listen Skis and your Belcoos and your Team Oars getting relegated, and as you can see, they're not coming up too quickly. You always feel it's getting out tougher, but better off in St Patrick's. Conor McDermott takes the ball from Thomas Cadden and plays it on. Here's Michael Montgomery now taking the first pass from Dara O'Reilly. Montgomery's already kicked a fantastic score from play early on to the dim of the figure of Eamon Curran, who's really been impressive so far. And to me, that looks a bit harsh.
It was, Park, but I think Darlin have realised the impact he was having on the game. He's getting tightly man-marked there now.
Don't forget, any draws, the game will go into 10 minutes either way of extra time, and even after that it's going to be a further 5 minutes of extra time before a replay is needed. So it's a long way away from that yet, but at the minute it still is level. Derlin 1-3, St Patrick's Donagh 6 points, as the long-haired Daniel Leonard comes again. Better that from Derlin. Here's the substitute now, finally getting the ball. Aaron McGoldrick tries to play into the ball into Fergal Shannon, and so he does. Shannon's shot though is weak and tame, and that's the sort of a chance Fergal Shannon will be disappointed with.
Yeah, it's bread and butter, Park, but Aaron McGoldrick done well, as I said, when he came on. That's what Derlin will have looked him to do, the link man. With the Leonards being closely marked, he's going to take on that responsibility of getting the ball in the inside men. Don't
forget, it's the fourth time these teams have met this season so far, with Donagh winning the first game in the plate, and then Derlin winning the plate shield final, and of course that league game, high scoring game it was, 5-10 to 18 points, so they're well used to each other. As well, it's messy, but Leonard has it again and Derlin come again, and a bit of a pull back there now by it looks like the midfielder Dara O'Reilly, but
yeah, well read by Danny Leonard there. He predicted the break, won the dirty ball, and scoreable, albeit long range free.
Even contest so far, of course. Derlin missing a couple of notable players, the likes of Fergal McGovern, Luke Flanagan, goalkeeper Owen Murphy. But at the moment, it's in the corner, and it's to Colin McManus. Feeds it out to the goal scorer Jake Smith. Performed brilliantly in the Junior Championship final against Cora, of course, as well, with some fantastic points. Jake Smith looking for the intricate ball to, well, I think it was for James Dolan, but it went to McGoldrick, and it's back to James Dolan. Has he got the feet? He certainly does. That's a brilliant score from James Dolan.
Yeah, it was. Not sure if he gave Jake Smith enough credit there. I think it looked like he was going to go out wide, and he gave him the eyes and played a great ball inside to Aaron McGoldrick, led it off to Dolan on the outside, and a nice score with his left foot.
So Derlin now lead 1-4 to 6 points, and I'm saying it's a close contest for sure, but I just feel sometimes Derlin can just up it when they want, maybe.
Yeah, the tempo's slightly slowed here. Park has got a wee bit cagier.
It's better from Paul Cosgrove, but it's just got messy again. Once again, Derlin making that second 50-50 breaky ball, and Louis Leonard on the ball now, just looking for someone. As Colin McManus, was it short? It wasn't. So Louis Leonard now out wide to James Boyle, looking for a bit of support. St Patrick's Donagh with 12-13 men behind. So James Boyle, the midfielder, into the ball into Fergal Shannon. Shannon does well to grasp at a second opportunity, and he plays it back to the centre half, back deck to McGovern. This is better, and it's the substitute. That's a fantastic score from Aaron McGoldrick.
Yeah, he's had the impact of Ryan Kelly for Derlin. Lovely ball inside, showed out in front by Fergal Shannon. Again, a man like a fine wine, and the work that broke the lines, and Aaron McGoldrick off the shoulder, and lovely score.
So since the water break, Derlin have come out and kicked the opening 2 points to move 1-5 to 6 points ahead. And as we join us here, Shawnee Montgomery for the goal kick for St Patrick's Donagh. Puts plenty of height into the middle area, but well, Dynel got his hands on the ball, but he seemed to be coming over, and Eamon Maguire lets the referee know, and it's brought forward 10 yards. Eamon Maguire just looking for a runner now for St Patrick's Donagh. Plays it back to the cornerback Paul McManus. The experienced McManus going along so long to Michael Montgomery. Montgomery silhouette brilliantly puts it into danger again. Pius Martin, Pius Martin does well there. But Brian McDermott, goal chance this for good defending from Derry Lane, and it's Declan McGovern bringing the ball out. A slight bit of a goal chance for St Patrick's Donagh.
Yeah, I think decision making, if the execution of the pass would have been slightly better, I think it was a tap in, but the pass was too high.
Better that, but the Derry Lane defence really grown into the game too, I feel.
Yeah, they've done well. I think they've got their bearings now. From St Pat's looking to get the direct ball inside, I think they've tidied that up. They've maybe stopped the ball coming in as easy, and that's led to more turnovers.
Please return to your vehicle and move it
So Josh Smith on the ball now for Derry Lane. We're moving Josh Smith into the Aaron McGoldrick, who's performed well so far since coming on. To Jake Smith, and better this now, and here's Dolan again coming forward, better from Aaron Dolan, and it's into Aaron McGoldrick. Goal chance, Aaron McGoldrick blazes it over the bar when, well, he'll take it, but there certainly was a goal chance there.
Yeah, not the outcome he wanted. Park, he was again aiming for the high into the net, just slightly under, but again, that man James Dolan, ball carrying ability, taking on men, committing tackles, and then he's creating space for others, and it was a nice hand pass, and Aaron was straight through.
We'll have a shout out as well for the Derry Lane assistant manager as well, Enda Ferris. I'm sure you know him well, Ryan, through your Tumry days. Currently on paternity leave, so he's bigger things to deal with at the moment, but he's missing with Aidan Gilroy down there. There's just Aidan Gilroy down on the sideline for Derry Lane, but the likes of Enda Ferris and Aidan Gilroy, they've really come in and done brilliantly with Derry Lane this year.
Yeah, they have. Congratulations to Enda first and foremost.
He's had a good 2020 with a senior championship, junior championship, and of course a Tumry Mercer League title for your.
Yeah, no, he couldn't ask for much better. No, he'll be missed on the sideline because he's very, very vocal. Part of the management team, so.
Better out there from Cahir Leonard and goes to James Boyle. Derry Lane just slowly turning the screw since the water break, whatever was said to them. James Boyle into the scoring zone, puts a bit of height to it. He puts the fist up, and Derry Lane move 4 clear, and much better play from Derry Lane all of a sudden.
Yeah, read the pass, won the turnover, and broke up the pitch, and that man James Boyle will do that all day.
So Derry Lane 1-7. St Patrick's Donagh 6 points as Kevin Connors of Benelec lets the fourth official Paul McGoldrick know what the injury time is going to be at the end of the first half. Of course, 2 games coming live here today, this Division 2 league final, and then of course the Division 1 Derry Gonley Enniskillen, as Eamon Maguire gets his hands on the ball this time in the middle, and as we see 3 minutes additional. Michael Montgomery lets it into Brian McDermott. Can McDermott win it this time? He wins it, but he falls as well. Drusakovic does well. It's a high tackle from Leonard, and well, Eamon Maguire from on the start of the play is then fouled. He's just full of running, Eamon Maguire.
He is. You can't take your eyes off him. Thought it was slightly harsh, that, but you know, the cuteness of Eamon, he let the referee know that he's been fouled. So, and that's what he done there. And
so as we loom here towards half time, of course, St Patrick's Donagh still haven't scored in this. I suppose you'd class it as the second quarter of Gaelic football the way it's went now. But this is Ryan Kelly's chance, and he's put it wide, and that's another missed opportunity for St Patrick's.
Yeah, I think that sums up their second quarter, to be honest. They really needed that score because there's been 4 on the bounce, I think, from Derry Lane.
So Pius Martin, goal kick, and he's looking for Leonard, and it's down on the sideline, and well, it's a Derry Lane ball. Excellent work there from Danny Leonard. Fetching ball now to McGoldrick, and McGoldrick's been hugely impressive since he's come on in this second quarter. Low ball into Owen Maguire. Maguire shows a bit of speed as well. Tracked well by Joe Cadden, and well, Owen Maguire, he might be a big man, but he got out well and won that low ball, and of course he's refereeing now as well.
Yeah, no, the Lino got that one wrong there, but Berlin took full advantage. Good ball inside and hand on the back, and it was a foul.
So could be a couple of big swinging moments here. You know, Ryan Kelly's chance to put 3 in it, but this is a Derlin chance now to push it out to 5, and things out there can change quite rapidly. But as we move very close to the half-time whistle here, it's goal scorer Jake Smith, and well, he's a fine footballer, and the likes of him and James Dolan are really showing it today as Derlin now move 1-8 to 6 points ahead.
Yeah, he probably hasn't got into the game as much as he'd like, Porrick, in terms of in play, but he is lethal from set pieces from the right or the left.
Shawnee Montgomery with the goal kick for St Patrick's Donagh into the middle zone again. And it's Donagh free, and it's Ian Maguire with the ball for St Patrick's Donagh. And it's to Eamon Curran again. Nice low ball into Michael Montgomery. Montgomery's a big frame, and Louis Lennon lets us know he's there, but that's better from St Patrick's Donagh through Owen Curran, and well, he's asking a lot, but well, it's just got very tight into Patrick Rood as well there, and Ian Maguire, and it's shot over by Owen Curran, and well, out of nothing, a quick 6 or 7 players touching the ball, but St Patrick's Donagh have finally got a score here.
Yeah, they needed that. There might be one more kick out, of a chance or an opportunity to get another, but well done by Patrick Rood there, because it was a 50, bit of a hospital pass, and he was brave and played a good hand pass inside, and Eamon flicked it on to get the score.
It's a high enough score in first half. I think going by the St Patrick's Donagh score lines this year, there's certainly no blanket defence with Paul Hassan from Ballinascreen. He just lets his players go out and play football, and maybe that's the way football is changing all of a sudden. Is on the ground, yes, good call by the referee, and a couple of big moments this for St Patrick's Donagh, because if they want to get back into this game, these points are crucial.
They are, and as you say there, this is something that I suppose predicted before the game. The two teams try and play offensive football, and we're, I suppose, bearing the fruits of that today. It's an entertaining game so far. This'll bring it to 3 if young Kelly can put it over the bar. So
Ryan Kelly looking for another ball as it's 1-8 to 7 points, and this could pull it back to 3 points. And of course, you just keep thinking back to that Jake Smith goal about how important, how crucial it was for Derrylin.
Yeah, well, ultimately that's
goal out of nowhere. What a fill-up for St Patrick's Donagh, right on the stroke of half-time. Ryan Kelly, he clearly went for the point. It's just dropped over Pius Martin's shoulder, and
I feel for Pius. Porrick, never be a goalkeeper. He expected that fully to go over the bar. Kelly's mishit it, and he hasn't got a footwork right, and it's just lobbed him into the far corner.
Yeah, nothing worse for Pius Martin. It's just lobbed down pretty quickly, and not something he wanted to see. But as the half time is called out here, Derrylin 1-8, St Patrick's 1-7, and definitely that goal for St Patrick's Donagh has put a completely different complexion of the game now for the second half. Ryan, it's been a pretty close first half.
Yeah, it has. That score at the end was a wee bit of kick in the teeth in Derrylin, because before that they were in control and had a really good second quarter. What they really wanted, Armagh Goldricks came in and probably had the impact, as I said, that Ryan Kelly had for St Pat's when he came on. I think Derrylin have won more of the dirty ball in the middle. There hasn't been too many feeling clean catches, and I think that what initially had put Derrylin in front by 5 points. But in fairness to Donagh, that wasn't their greatest second quarter, and they're only a point behind now, so all to play for.
It's been an entertaining first half, and I suppose the goals have been pretty critical, all right. So I suppose we hand it back here. Half-time score in Brewster Park. Derrylin 1-8, St Patrick's Donagh 1-7, with a pretty intriguing second half to come here. suppose the goals being the big talking points of the half.
Yeah, the fortuitous nature of that goal from St. Pat's, they'll not care about that because it's got them right back into the game, Park, and it's all set up to be a great second half.
And then, of course, don't forget in the first half we've seen a couple of early substitutions as well. Ryan Kelly coming on for Jimmy Tormey, and I must say Ryan Kelly has done. And the prize on offer today is the Division 2 League Finals trophy, after both sides gaining promotion from as usual.
Easiest way to sum it up, Park, they're finding it very, very difficult.
One Derry Gunley and Enniskillen, Dara O'Reilly and St Patrick's Stone are trying to push on from that Ryan Kelly goal. And well, this could be a brilliant start. Paul Gosgrove closes in. What? And that's a huge turnaround in this game.
Yeah, I think it's the first time Brian McDermott's got out in front.
Eamon Maguire getting.
If you win the ball from the throw up, done by St Pat's there.
As Ryan Kelly, who of course scored that first half goal right on the curtain coming up to the half-time whistle, and Derry Lynn were 4 or 5 points clear, and now all of a sudden St Patrick's Stone a lead by 3, and they come again, and it's Ryan Kelly on the ball for St Patrick's Stone looking to go on his man, and Kelly goes past Declan McGovern, but he comes back again, feeds to Eamon Maguire. Maguire, the wee dinky solo, is so well used to Ryan Kelly. Patient build up. Michael Montgomery looking for that bit of support, but full credit too to the likes of Paul Hassans, who come down from Ballinascreen, and you know, for small numbers in St Patrick's Stone, he's got them playing really great football. Eamon Curran, well, he had a lively first half and he started the second half just the same, and Curran's point late in the first half, but this has been some turnaround, Ryan.
Yeah, immense start to the second half. I think Derry Lynn will push out. They're giving too much.
Thomas Cadden's ball as well, tucked in by the Derry Lynn subs actually round us, or even probably a wee bit shell-shocked with the way the game has just really turned on its head. Finds Louis Leonard in the middle. Both sides already promoted, and as we see the Division 2 League trophy sitting in the front, we see the likes of Kieran Donnelly sitting just right in front of it there, and the likes of Niall Smith, people that he's bringing on board into the management team. Ryan, you might get a phone call yet from him, maybe?
I don't know about that, Park. I don't know about that. I'll stick to
here, but they're probably the best player in the field in the first half with each other, as Ryan Kelly pushes forward with the ball, lets in loose to Eamon Maguire, the sort of ball Maguire would love to get his hands on, and he gets a foot on it to Eamon. Paul McManus out of absolutely nothing.
Yeah, really laboured.
The St Patrick's Stone for a number of years down through his time, and he finished that like a seasoned pro corner forward with number 2 on his back.
Yeah, I think the keeper kind of made his mind up when he came out. He didn't even have to catch it, it was just tap it either left or right and it was going to go in.
So Eamon Maguire, Thomas Cadden, all of a sudden St Patrick's Stone are now lead by 7 points in such a closely run first half, as Michael Montgomery, big Michael Montgomery, coming barging through to Owen Curran, and well, Curran's ball to Thomas Cadden is robbed, and Derry Lynn come again through James Boyle in the middle of the field. Boyle looking for a bit of support through the middle. He faces Eamon Maguire, and nice integral ball into Jake Smith, who scored that first half goal for Derry Lynn. It feels like a long time ago.
Derry Lynn need to get the Leonards or Big Dolan back in the ball.
Well,
James Boyle's doing a lot of James Boyle's doing a lot of ball carrying, doing a lot of meterage. But the ball inside, you know, they're looking to get it on the hands of the Leonards or Dolan to get that ball inside, and they aren't looking for it at the minute.
Corner back into the midfielder, Dara O'Reilly. He's had a really good first half, and Dara O'Reilly, well, he's got plenty of height, but the looks of it could be staying for Brian McDermott. It does stay in. Brian McDermott very good at the soccer as well, and nice ball into Ryan Kelly. Kelly back to Brian McDermott. All of a sudden St Patrick's Stone are probably more able to dictate play compared to chasing the game, and here's Eamon Maguire. Just does everything right. Paul Cosgrove, who scored that goal in the opening seconds of the second half, and that's completely the outside of the boot, and it certainly had the height, but The likes of Paul Cousins has been going a long time and giving great service. The likes of him and Eamon Maguire.
Getting far too much pace and time.
Paul McManus does well in the kick out, and Eamon Maguire into Brian McDermott. McDermott again swings on a sixpence. Paul McManus number 2 on his back, but to that man, James Dolan. Better this from Dolan. They really need something, and it's Jake Smith. The Smith hauled down by Paul, looking to impress the watching Kieran Donnelly. I suppose down to them 2 huge junior championship finals again yourselves, Ryan, and I suppose everybody coming here today, myself included, thought the Brewster Park surface and all, they would hit the ground running, but really St Patrick's Stone have just really eclipsed them with them 3 goals.
Yeah, look, nothing replicates championship football, and they've had an opportunity to have 2 championship games under the belt, and I thought that would stand to them, and early on it looked like it did, but Dona have come out in the second half out of the traps, and if there was changing rooms, they're still in them.
Dolan lobs it into Owen Maguire, but, well, is that off the ground? Well, it looks like Fergal Shannon's come in late, but Dolan making a substitute or 2, sorry. Donald McAvinia was coming on for Colin McManus, and as we see, Michael Montgomery now making his way off for St Patrick's Stone, and incoming for him is Johnny O'Reilly. Big man on the St Patrick's Stone side, and we also see an injury to Patrick Grew, and well, the way Patrick Grew's playing, I'm sure Paul Hassan wouldn't like to lose the wing half back Patrick Grew.
No, Patrick Grew is relentless, always has been. That's his style of play, transitioning on turnovers and always there, willing runner, either with the ball or off the ball, so he'd be a big loss if that's the case.
And you always kind of feel that has that substitution been made just at the wrong time, because Johnny O'Reilly can play, of course, in around the wing half back area as well, but Michael Montgomery's come off, and as we look down, Derlin 1-8, St Patrick's Stone 3-9. I suppose when you look back at the 3 goals from St Pat's, they really only came 5 minutes apart, right on the stroke of half time on the other side of the second half, and then just 4 or 5 minutes into the start of the second half as well. So the 3 goals have really ripped Derlin apart.
They have, and I said for choosers nature, the first ones probably give them the impetus at the start of the second half, and they're relishing in it at the minute.
Shawnee Montgomery puts it out to Paul McManus, and well, it seems to be high from Donald McAvey. He's just on, but he certainly asked a lot from Paul McManus, the 3rd goal scorer of St Patrick's Stone, and good ball to Joe Cadden. Cadden, experienced player in the Donor defence for 15-16 years now, to Johnny O'Reilly just on the field of play to Thomas Cadden. Better this from St Patrick's Stone as substitute Johnny up to Ryan Kelly. They actually look alike. Ryan Kelly with 28 on his back. That's better away from Declan McGovern, but St Pat's coming again. Owen Kern. Well, you just know St Patrick's Stone have their tail up at the moment, knowing what's on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they're moving the ball up a lot quicker and with more conviction.
Well, Dor O'Reilly with the Hollywood pass, and it works out nicely for him. But this man Patrick Grew, who was down earlier, Grew comes back in and feeds it off to Thomas Cadden. Both wing half-backs going very well, and Ian Maguire right on the 40 goes for it, and well, it's wide, but I think the way Ian Maguire's been playing, you might let him off with that one.
Yeah, I think he was going for a shot, but he might tell you he's going for the pass. But no, it probably opened up for him. They were very patient, or worked it well from left to right, and I suppose a wee bit of space opened up and he thought he'd have a go.
As St Patrick's Stone come again, all of a sudden Derlin now are left pondering what might have been, and here's Paul Cosgrove, who'll run at the Derlin defence again. Cosgrove, has he been taken down? Yes, he has. Nigel Sweeney says on the head, and it's certainly Ryan Kelly territory again for St Patrick's Stone.
Derlin need this water break, Park. They are lacklustre, they've no energy, heads are down, so they badly need either this water break or to get a few scores on the board as soon as possible.
We've just over 12 minutes played here in the second half in Brewster Park as Ryan Kelly puts plenty of height on it, and it sails over the bar, and all of a sudden 1-8 plays 3-10, and well, St Patrick's Stone have really upped the ante this second half, and I'm sure to many observers coming here today, Derlin would certainly have been viewed as strong favourites for the couple of weeks they've had and how they canted through Division 2, but it's strange to say, maybe a changed team last week against Timor in the league might not have helped.
No, continuity, I believe in it. Porrick. Sometimes too many changes isn't good.
As Owen Maguire shrugs off his marker Joe Cadnan, second by the cherry for Owen Maguire. That's a good score, and that's something Derrylin badly needed.
Yeah, definitely. Something they probably haven't tried too much in the second half. They haven't actually tried to get it into Owen. Direct ball, and he was lucky, I suppose. It was a good block, and it fell to him again. He got space and tapped it over.
I suppose just Ryan, as you touched on Derrylin making a lot of changes last week, and I suppose getting a bit of a beating from their neighbours Timor, who I suppose it was all in vain with St Patrick's Stone and beating yourselves. But Division 2 is such a hard league to get out of.
Oh, it is. Look, the league for us has never been our best of time, Park, but we never get handy games in it. So the two teams have done well to go up, but I believe that Derrylin had a difficult. I'll let you go in here.
Well, it's another goal chance for Patrick Stoner, but Owen Curran this time lobs it over the bar. And St Patrick's Stoner are just playing really, really impressive stuff here. The likes of Curran, Ryan Kelly, who just come on, Eamon Maguire, and well, Eamon Curran as well. Exciting young forwards, the likes of Owen and Eamon Curran.
Yeah, they have a good balance there between experience and youth, and I think in fairness the experience has got them here. It's been the platform for all them younger lads to push on today, and they're rivaling it.
Ball just goes amiss there, and Eamon Maguire, dare I say it, St Patrick's Stone in for a fourth goal. It's Cosgrove again, and this time Pius Martin does very well, and a free out. Well, if that would have been a fourth goal, surely that would have been curtains, but
yeah, it was game over. Potentially could this be a catalyst for a turning point? Let's see.
Aaron McGoldrick's ball to Louis Leonard, and McGoldrick takes it back again, puts it in between Owen Maguire and Joe Cadden. It could be 2-1-1 here. If Maguire goes, Owen Maguire, it's going to take a lot of stopping. It's trickling along the ground, and well, it's a free in, but Joe Cadden's picked up a bit of a head injury too. But
yeah, the direct ball in again worked, so it may be something they'll try in the next quarter.
that was a huge chance for Paul Cosgrove to probably really kill the game off, but good to see Pius Martin make a fantastic save there.
Yeah, I'll do his confidence a world of good. His last couple of kickouts have been excellent as well, so no, that'll do his confidence a world of good. I think Paul was just running a bad angle on his weaker foot, tried to slip it onto the keeper, but just didn't get enough contact.
I'm pretty sure with Derrylin, with I'm sure the Devonish eyes on today's game too on Derrylin, they're probably thinking of an intermediate championship quarter final, and given Owen Murphy's groin a few weeks rest, as Pius Martin's probably more known to be a hard working wing half forward. As Derrylin step up now with this free, and it's through the first half goal scorer Jake Smith, and he points it, and all of a sudden 110 to 311. There's still a lot of work for Derrylin to do here.
Yeah, but this isn't unfamiliar territory. Again, 5 points up. We were with 8 or 9 minutes of our championship final, and you know, we were lucky there wasn't one more kick out, because I'd say Derrylin would have won it that night. So look, I've been here before. So we've just gone over 16 minutes, and Shawnee Montgomery at the goal kick for St Patrick's Donagh in towards Johnny O'Reilly, but it's got Messi in there. It's got Thomas Cadden was down on the ball. Leonard's there, but it looks like it's Thomas Cadden. Well, Thomas Cadden done well. He got down, he won the dirty ball, he broke forward on the referee gives him his free. Yeah, them sort of turnovers are worth their weight in gold.
Paul McManus.
Thomas Cadden done well.
And here comes Eamon Maguire in the middle of the field. Plays it back to Paul McManus. The Derrylin team, and certainly St Patrick's Donagh team, nicely blended with some real youth and experience, with the likes of Maguire and McManus curtailed with the likes of the Currans for St Patrick's Donagh.
Yeah, as I was saying there, the experienced lads have given the platform today for the younger lads to really revel in the situation, and they're doing that so far.
So Dave McManus, bit of a hospital ball to Owen Curran, but here comes St Patrick's Donagh again, and here's through this man, Owen Curran, but instead Eamon Curran lifts it up. Curran, full of running. Nice low ball, but it's probably not the sort of ball Dara O'Reilly wanted, as Nigel Sweeney says free out for Derrylin, and here comes Owen Maguire. He got sent off in the first junior championship final against Cove, but Maguire's been robbed there by Damien McManus, and St Patrick's Donagh come again through Dara O'Reilly to Eamon Curran. Curran faces Louis Leonard, but instead ups for Brian McDermott. McDermott, well, I think the referee had called for a mark and a bit of confusion. Here's Eamon Kern, moves in and goal! I'm not sure what that was, but Sweeney blew the whistle and well. Eamon Kern hits a fourth St Patrick's Donagh goal as the water breaks called for by the looks of it.
That's a sucker punch, Park. To be honest, a wee bit controversial there. To be honest, I don't know the rules myself. The referee blew for an attacking mark, and there was no attacking mark because the ball wasn't caught. I think the Derlin defenders had stopped, and fair play to Donagh, took advantage. Kern came through and smashed into the bottom corner.
Some really fantastic goals scored from St Patrick's Donagh in that 15 minutes, and all of a sudden Derry Lynn, who at half time led by 1 point, have it really all to do now in the final 15 minutes of this game.
Yeah, that's not what Derry Lynn wanted at all, without stating the obvious. You know, they've got 2 scores back there. They're starting to get a wee bit of momentum again, but that's just a sucker punch.
As both sides in for the water break. Do you honestly feel, right, will this water break ever, is it here to stay or will it go again? It seems to be more of a manager's chat than a water break.
Yeah, it is. Park, look, there's pros and cons to it. You know, the pros are, if you're in Derry Lynn's situation a couple of minutes ago, you want the water break to reset, you know, make a few tactical changes or just get a wee G up from the management and the players. And you know, if you're on the other side of the foot, if you've got momentum, you know, you're playing well and you're scoring freely, you know, that can wreck your stride. So it's hard to know. I can see it changing back, reverting back to normal from next season on, to be honest.
Well, you don't often see it, but I see in the corner of my eye, Derry Lynn 15, Fergal Shannon never come in at all for the water break. You don't see too many players just staying out on the pitch, but that's just a bit of annoyance on the scoreline.
Yeah, maybe it's a mentality thing, just head down.
Well, dare I say St Patrick's Donagh in again, but is that off the ground? It's got very scruffy all of a sudden, but the referee, well, it's just got a bit scruffy down there all of a sudden, but the referee, by the looks of it, to give Derry Lynn a free out.
Yeah, I think Eamon got away with one there, so he did, but he done well to recover, and the referee's rightly give him a free out.
As we see Rory McGoldrick coming on as well for Derry Lynn, and I think through that commotion, number 11, Louis Leonard's come off, so Derry Lynn bringing back on Aaron and Rory McGoldrick, who both didn't start, but with 12 and 14 on their backs. And well, if that is a swinging punch, then it could be curtains here for Gurnbus. It's a yellow card. It could have been a whole lot worse, definitely.
Could have been.
Quick goal kick from Pius Martin to Donald McAvinia. He's got it all to do right down in his own corner zone, but he does well and he feeds it off the deck to McGovern, and it's back to Pius Martin. Martin bringing the ball out a bit like Niall Morgan, and well, super ball from McGovern, and here comes Michal Busakovic, the man of minor footballer last year. Pretty good one too, with wing half forward. This time he's wearing number 2, and it's to the midfielder James Dolan, who had that brilliant first half, but he's fouled and it's a scoreable chance. And Derry Lynn at the moment 10 points behind, need every chance they have at the moment.
Yeah, they're going to need more of that from Dolan in this quarter. I suppose the reason why Derry Lynn have went so far behind is because he hasn't got his hand on the ball as much as he'd like, and that's probably testament to St Pat's and the matchup they done on them there in this second half.
This time it's going to be left with Aaron McGoldrick playing for Derry Lynn for a number of years now, and well, I'm not exactly sure why Aaron McGoldrick hasn't started, but since he's come on, he's been pretty impressive.
Yeah, same. Him and Ryan Kelly, both sides. You know, to be 2 men sitting on the bench, and then to be your free takers. You know, I suppose it speaks volumes on how they've played.
Yeah. As we say, another exciting youngster for the St Patrick's Donagh side, Cameron McBride, another pretty impressive for minor youth footballer back in his day, and under 21 level coming on. I actually remember him. He played for Ulster as well one day, so certainly plenty going for him. But he was wrecked with injury last year with the knee, and it's good to see Cameron McBride back on the field as Cameron's on for Brian McDermott. As the rain slowly starts to come down that bit heavier in Brewster Park, as I say, a number of players looking for gloves. Makes the field that bit quicker.
Yeah, it's slicker anyway. You know, we played in a park, it was Brewster Park's always hard underfoot, but that rain, there's just a slick on it, and the handling has been difficult since the rain has started to fall.
Great mark there by Johnny O'Reilly, sets off another St Patrick's Stone attack, but this time well rounded off by Declan McGovern. And here comes Derry Lynn again, but well, Johnny O'Reilly's done well to come on, but Derry Lynn come again, and it looks like it's going to be a free for Roy McGoldrick as a bit of afters here happening. Well, you might say both teams are already being promoted, but it's more than just a trophy when you see this, Ryan.
No, Blood and Thunder Park, anytime you put the jersey on for your club, regardless of the situation, but it's all handbags here.
Yeah. So, St Patrick's Stone at 4-11, Derry Lynn 1-11. Fourth official, Paul McGoldrick, getting a bit of work done. It looks as if Louis Leonard's going to be told to go up and sit in the stand rather than the sub bench, but is it going to be a throw up from Nigel Sweeney? But instead of that, he's going to speak to Ryan Kelly. As you said yourself, Ray, it certainly was handbags. I don't see that much thrown punch-wise.
No, it was grappling, Park, pushing and chest out stuff. It's meaningless at this stage. Like it's playing into St Pat's hands, delaying it and breaking the flow of Derry Lynn, trying to get back into the game.
Ryan Kelly picks up probably a needless yellow card, but as we move into the final 8 minutes or so of this game, Johnny Ray's going to get spoken to as well, but Derry Lynn needs something special here to come back into this game. I'm sure they're 9 behind.
Yeah, well, as a positive man would say, it's only 3 kicks of a ball, but we know it's not as simple as that. But anything can happen. I think if you get a bit of momentum, score here now. They need goals, obviously, but what's left, Park? 10 minutes?
Yeah, I just can't see the exact time there myself, but Danny Lennon gets a yellow card, Johnny Reddy gets a yellow card, Fergal Shannon tells the linesman what his job is. I suppose a bit unsavoury and not really needed, and
all much through about nothing, really, to be honest.
The yellow cards are really adding up here for a number of players, but
just need to get on with the game here now again.
Of course, coming up at 3 p.m. here in Brewster Park, a bit more wetter Brewster Park now, I must say, is the Division 1 League final between Derry Gunley Harps and Enniskillen Gales. Nigel Sweeney is another yellow card as tempers flare again.
Yeah, the referee really needs to start making decisions a wee bit quicker, because tempers are flaring on the pitch and in the stand.
And after all that, it's going to be a throw up between James Dolan and Johnny O'Reilly. So it'll be good to see with all them yellow cards, will any man pick up a second yellow in the final stages here, as it's lobbed in high by Rory McGoldrick. Derry needs something, and well, there's a point. For a moment I thought it was heading towards the goal for some of the touch, but 1-12 to 4-11, and Shawnee Montgomery getting ready to get it. As I said, the rain's really coming down a lot heavier here now.
Yeah, we'll have an impact on the last 7-8 minutes of this game, but the next game as well. I see the wind's picked up, the direction's actually changed, looking at the flags here, so Shawnee Montgomery with the goal kick for St Patrick's Stone. Eamon Maguire goes high, but it's James Dolan, but instead of that, as Paul Cosgrove gets his hands on the ball, he saw that goal at the start of the second half to Eamon Curran, who's been brilliant and well. I'm pretty sure the referee will talk to Eamon going, and this could be the first, if he's already been yellow carded. Dare I say Eamon Curran was away there from maybe thinking of goal number 5. But it's a correct decision. Park, he done well to get out in front, but he knew if he let young Curran away that he was through. So
that's Eamon Gunn's. I'm pretty sure that's his field of action play finished today. With the black card, sent him to the bench for 10 minutes. Of course, as I was saying, if level at full time, 2 10 minutes either way of extra time, and still level after that, 2 5 minutes of extra time either way of that, as Ryan Kelly's ball trickles wide, but I'm pretty sure St Patrick's Stone won't mind that wide.
No, ball's dead, chance to reset and win this next phase.
So Pius Martin for the goal kick for Derry Lynn down to 14 men. Of course, both sides already promoted to Division 1 in 2022. Donald McAvinia gets up with Johnny O'Reilly. That's no there, but that's better play by the substitute Rory McGoldrick. Here's it back to Declan McGovern, and here comes Michael Prusakovic on the ball for Derry Lynn. Prusakovic out to Rory McGoldrick. Derry Lynn into Fergal Shannon, but well read again by Damien McManus. And McManus has had a pretty good game with number 4.
Just going to say that Park, he's had a great second half. He's won a couple of good turnovers, but to be honest, been really impressed with St. Pat's pressing. The game's getting into the latter stages, and subconsciously teams tend to drop, but St. Pat's are pressing up really high in Derry Lynn, and they're making it difficult to get the ball inside, and which is giving their defenders a chance, which you've seen there now.
Brilliant play there by Eamon Maguire, who lets off to Owen Curran. Curran running at pace into the diminutive Eamon Curran, who's had a brilliant game here. Curran, he's looking for something spectacular, but that's better play. He finds the wing half back, Thomas Cadden. Cadden plays it out to Eamon Curran again. Curran's very tricky, I must say.
Yeah, you can see his confidence there now. He's not afraid to try anything.
Patrick Grew tries something special, and it's fallen. That could have been a huge goal chance, but I think the flight of the ball in the air just lost on a couple of players there.
Yeah, it could have been a comedy of errors. I think it actually ended up hitting Pius on the head, but as I said, the wind had changed, so the players lost the flight of it, and he actually had loads of space to catch that.
Very in game, but Paul Cosgrove's back with his experience, and that shows there, and that's exactly what St. Patrick's Donor want, with bags of experience, and with time trickling down, we're seeing Padraig Owens warming up here for Derry Lynn, and (1:12 to 4:11). It looks like St. Patrick's Donor will be going up as Division 2 League champions as Padraig Owens comes on for Fergal Shannon.
Yeah, and at the minute, it's fully deserved. Padraig, they've never stopped from minute one, and when the chances were there, ultimately they taken them, and that was the difference in the game at the minute.
The way St. Patrick's Donor just opened up them goals as well, especially early in the second half. Huge difference here.
You look back to McGoldrick's chance, which he put over the bar. That would have been 2. The second goal for Derry Lynn, it could have had an impact on the game, but it went over.
So we also see Patrick Tressy getting ready here to come on for St. Patrick's Donor. It's Thomas Cadden going to be coming off, but at the moment Derry Lynn want to get some scores, and they're playing on. James Dolan. Derry Lynn needs something here, and they certainly need a 3-pointer at this stage of the game. But once again, the ball falls next to Paul Cosgrove, and once again Cosgrove showing his bags of experience back there for Paul Hassan's side. Damien McManus, the cornerback, to Patrick Grew. Better this than St. Patrick's Donor coming again. They're certainly not giving in, and here they come to Owen Curran. Will he up for a score? It's in the Dara O'Reilly. He's went for the beautiful chip, and that's a beautiful score from Dara O'Reilly, and another fantastic score as that substitution is now made for St. Patrick's Donor, with Thomas Cadden coming off after picking up that yellow card, and on comes Patrick Tressy, who scored last week again yourselves, Ryan.
Yeah, just to go back to that last play, Park, that was number 20. Excellent work rate from Cameron McBrien. I know he's only on, but he tracked all the way back from corner forward, and he got a hand in there, and the turnover, and that led to that score.
Ian Maguire pushing through again for St. Patrick's Donor. There's no hold up from them as Maguire goes for it, and his performance probably deserves a score there, but it just went wide, and 5 additional minutes.
Yeah, you can see the mentality now of Derry Lynn. The conditioning on both sides, there's not much in it, but mentality can make a massive difference in that, and you can see with the lead, St. Pat's are relentless at this stage.
Goal kick from Pius Martin. Paul McManus scored the 3rd goal for St. Patrick's Donor. Fades it out, and Eamon Curran with the nice red stroke pink boots plays good ball in, and here comes Tressy to Ryan Kelly. The Donor squad all of a sudden showing how good they are, as 25 to 28 to 21 to 20. they've a good squad all of a sudden.
Yeah, strength and depth. Said there was a few of these players weren't playing last week in the league versus yourselves, but you can see that there's men coming off that have emptied the tank, and you're bringing on quality, the same if not better off the bench, which is just testament to the club and the coaches.
And as we were saying, just as that substitute comes on, Patrick Tracy, but it just goes wide. But all of a sudden, the game really is just petering out here, and one sure thing, but it looks to be St Patrick's Down will be going up to play Division 1 football next season as Division 2 league champions with a trophy to celebrate.
Yeah, unless there's a miracle, Park, there's only one place the trophy's going.
And a special mention to the St Patrick's Down manager Paul Hassan from Ballinascreen, and certainly their 50th anniversary as well this year. Bit of pressure on St Patrick's Down now in the junior championship, which I'm sure Ryan you'll be happy to hear. Pressure going on to them.
Oh yeah, St Park, from our perspective, we'll be looking to get rid of a few demons from the last couple of finals, and try and get there again. But ultimately, the favourites will be Donor, and there'll be Division 1 clubs, coming into that championship. So, but hey, look, pressure's on them, and underdog status suits a lot of clubs as well.
Owen Maguire with the pitch shot, but goes well wide, and it just hasn't got going in the second half whatsoever for Derry Lynn today.
No, it was a blitz of 10 minutes at the start of the third quarter, and that's ultimately killed the game.
As Shawnee McCormick with the goal kick, James Dolan gets on it, but that's Cameron McBride who came in, but a bad clash there between the two players. Looks to be James Dolan and Eamon Maguire again in the wars. Never nice to see.
No, Cameron McBride went in full-blooded there. You're talking injury time and you're 9 points up, but I suppose it epitomises the way Donagh have played today. Full press, and to be honest, the one around the middle Park that got on, I'd say 70-75% of the breaking balls, and that's ultimately where they created all their chances.
Right, I know it's never an easy question to answer, but as for the game this way went, but man of the match in today's game?
I haven't even thought about it, Park, to be honest. I've just been enjoying it.
Well, I know that man that was down had a brilliant first half, James Dolan, but second half probably just not as much.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He wasn't in it. They couldn't get the ball to him. I think Cosgrove done a good number on him in the second half. Either go Eamon Maguire or a young lad, 13, Eamon Kern. I thought he had a really, really good, lively game. He played a couple of great balls inside it in the second half and got one himself.
Yeah, it was a very impressive Eamon Kern as well. As James Dolan, the full forward on his back, Roy McGoldrick, but back to Dolan, who, as I said, was very impressive today in the first half with James Boyd, and once again, Paul Cosgrove's back there, and it's out. But really, we're playing down through the minutes here now for sure.
Yeah, it's just Derlin are trying to just lob it in and maybe get one off big Owen Maguire in there, but it's last ditch stuff.
As Paul Cadden comes on for her St Patrick's Down, well, he's coming back off again. No one's come off. Cadden might try again.
I'm sure this will be another similar type strike here, try and lob it into that area and see if anybody can get a hand in and put it in the net.
I see both sides in front of me just trying to quickly run a few players on to give them minutes in a league final. Always nice to see, but once again Cameron McBride dogged with a knee injury last year, but he's been really good since he came on early on. And here comes Eamon Maguire, the most known player down there on the pitch, and Maguire, well, with a late one. Hello, and here's Patrick Tracy with a late one too, Eamon Curran.
Runners over.
But we have another bit of a handbag moment down here as well on the other side of the field, but brilliant score, full back, Joe Cadden. I was probably watching the other side of the field there. There's a couple of players squared up to each other as we see a number of subs being run on either team here now. And
I was watching the football, Park. No, again, Cameron McBride, very brave and coming back, and Eamon, I mentioned before, fine wine, still has the legs, and injury time. Got a great score to put the cherry on the cake.
A late sub just coming on there, Paul Cadden, as we've seen. Sean Dunny just not able to get on, but that's it. St Patrick's Donagh have done enough, and probably deserving winners because they done well in the first half and they done exceptional in the second half.
They did. I think, as I said, the fortuitous goal at the end of the first half, suppose, giving that impetus into the second half. But it was a 10-minute blitz, Porrick, and they never stopped them. But I think it was their high press. They never dropped. They never gave Darlin a chance to transition and get the ball up the pitch through the ham, which they're really good at. I was very impressed with Donagh. I thought, that had to do a lot today to beat Darlin, and they did do that. They got their matchups right. The Leonards, I thought, were both very quiet. Dolan an excellent first half, but again, second half he wasn't, and that's the way it goes sometimes.
I was not putting any pressure, but in the watching Kieran Donnelly there and Niall Smith, I'm just seeing them there. Impressive performance, the likes of Eamon Curran, Owen Curran, James Dolan, Jake Smith. Them players would certainly come into the reckoning maybe for the county.
Yeah, look, it's no easy step up. Porrick, I've done it for 1 year myself, and I've seen the commitment that it takes. And that's sometimes what the management's trying to work out. Who has it? There's loads of talented players in the county, but who has it to do it week in, week out, commitment-wise, because it is a massive effort and time. But to put on your jersey for the county, every player wants to do it, and I'm sure Kieran will look in to bring in somebody and something different that wasn't in the previous management campaign. So yeah, there was a lot of players in show there that have potential to push on.
So St Patrick's Donagh the winners here, and of course both sides being promoted already to Division 1 football for next season, but it's their captain Patrick Grew. So I'm just trying to look there. Joe Cadden, sorry, actually scored the final point of the game there with number 3 on his back, taking the trophy from Greg Kelly. Big final coming up now, of course, at 3 o'clock. Ryan, Derry Gunley Harps and then Enniskillen Gales. It should be a pretty close one too.
Yeah, it'll be a feistier one now, Park, given the conditions. I think it's a day for defenders. There'll be a lot of dirty ball, as we talked about before, but ultimately it'll be who can get it through the hand as efficiently and effectively as possible, given the conditions the way they are. But no, it should be a good one, and it'll be close again.
Just on behalf of the county board, before I present the Westfield Hotel Division 2 League Trophy, I want to thank the Westfield Hotel for their sponsorship of both of our senior leagues this year. I want to also thank host club Enniskillen Gales and their members who are involved in preparing Brewster Park for our finals today. It's been a busy couple of weeks at Brewster Park, and it's going to get busier with our championship coming up soon. I'd like to thank Nigel Sweeney, the match referee today, and his team of match officials for contributing to what was a very entertaining game, end-to-end stuff, excellent attacking play and defensive play by both teams. I want to commiserate with Derry Lynn O'Connell's. You have the consolation, of course, of getting promotion, already secured before today, back to Division 1. And coming into the championship now as well, the intermediate championship this year to look forward to. Well done, Derry Lynn. So it only remains for me to congratulate St Patrick's Donagh on a fine victory here today. They say goals win matches, and that was certainly true here today. So without further ado, although I can't actually hand the trophy to St Pat's captain Joe Cadden here, I can invite him to lift it.
I'd just like to thank the management. It hasn't been easy at times, but it has paid off. I'd like to thank the supporters and the club. The club has done a lot for us over the years. Unlucky to Darrell Lane. Best luck in the championship. And without you guys, we wouldn't have won this.
So that's St Patrick's Donagh Division 2 League champions and Captain Joe Cadden lifting the trophy as we watch on. Here's the St Patrick's Donagh team get in the mood to celebrate winning the trophy. Ryan, we were probably touching earlier, the deserving winners today.
Yeah, they were Park. From start to finish, I think, the Ireland maybe had the slight upper hand in the first half, but the second half, the 10-minute blitz, as I talked about, and as it was said there now, goals win games, and that's the reason why St. Pat's won the game today.
And I suppose a couple of change weeks for Derry Lynn when you think of winning a junior championship to losing today, but they'll certainly still be in the reckoning come the intermediate championship, and a big tussle with Devonish.
Yeah, look, I don't often talk about players missed, but sometimes there's cogs in wheels that really make a system work. And you like Fergal McGovern missing the other day. It's a key man inside for Derlin, and obviously county man Luke Flanagan, who is as much as a man marker's best in the county, but great at moving forward with the ball with his pace and power as well. So look, they'll bounce back. So winning is great and it breeds winning. But sometimes you have to lose to reset, take away the learnings, and go again, and they'll be relishing Devonish. So they will in intermediate.
And St. Patrick's Donagh, after winning the Division 2 league title, now travelling to play a junior football championship, which is a bit surreal, I suppose. You haven't seen it yet for a team like that there to happen, but they'll look forward to playing that, I'm sure.
No, they will. They'll be extremely confident. Park, they've a derby against Newtown. I'll call it the first round, I suppose, the way the junior championship set up. And they'll be wanting to get through to that final with 2 wins from 2, so there's no back door or anything like that, and give themselves as much time as possible to prepare. But Newtown will give them nothing easy, so, and either will ourselves or Brookborough. So look, no championship's ever given to any team. A 9 to the team, 10 the favourites rarely win it because it's all on the day. But they'll fancy themselves massively the way the league campaign's ended for them.
The goals today were certainly massive. The way I'm just watching on here as the Derry Lynn players get ready to finish off, and St. Patrick's Donagh get ready to celebrate. As we've seen Jared Tressian, he's going to cut off now to speak to St. Patrick's Donagh's Owen Curran. So we let them do that.
Good afternoon and welcome to the press area here in Brewster Park. I'm joined here by Owen Curran from the victorious St. Pat's Donagh side. Heartiest congratulations, Owen, a nice victory.
It was, yeah, it was tough work. The conditions got tough in the end. Derry Lynn are a very tough side, giving us a lot of challenges throughout the year. We're glad to get over the line without a doubt.
It was a strange game in that I suppose maybe you guys started well, but Derry Lynn were in the ascendancy throughout most of the first half, and then that goal at half time really brought you back into it. Did that build the belief?
It did. We were lucky with the goal, but it definitely turned it for us. We knew once we got that back that we could fight on,
And what was said at half time?
We hadn't played any football at all, really. Yeah. We hadn't started at all, and then we were only a point down. So if we got going, every man left another 10%, we could go out and win this.
And then the goal, of course, right from the throw-in at the start of the second, and an excellent finish by Causey, of course.
That's a ball, man. Yeah. But no, it was good. It was a good way to start the half, and it really drove us on from there.
And it was a brilliant team performance in the second half, and no more so than yourself. You contributed handsomely to the scores.
Not too often to do that, to be honest, but no, we were good. Everyone came together, we clicked there. Every man was running off the shoulder, every man was supporting each other, tracking back. There was no man caught slacking, So no, we definitely, as a team, came together in that second half and drove it on.
And it's a club that are on the rise, still involved in junior championship, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but you're now playing Division 1 football next year. Your trajectory is very good.
Yeah, it's looking good. The last number of years all we've been on the way down, but we've a couple of young boys there coming through. They really drove us on. You still the likes of Ian and all with that experience as well, so it's a good combination of players in that team, and really drove us on again this year. Hopefully push on next year now in the championship.
Good setup there, good management setup, good youth coming through. The club being well run at the moment. Everything's
going well. Everything's going well. So it is. Yeah, the whole club, the stand, the catch nets coming in, a whole lot. Everything. The club's going well, going in the right direction anyway.
Very good. And we talked there. We mentioned the junior championship, a nice tasty one, of course, against your near neighbours and friends in Newton Butler.
A local derby, yeah. Newtown done one over us in the start of the league, so hopefully get one back now. But Newtown again are a challenging side. They've always given us good games in the past, so enjoy this now and then look forward to that game.
And from a personal perspective, you're playing good football yourself. I see a new Fermanagh manager sitting in the stand there. Would you be hoping maybe to get a wee call-up or a trial maybe?
Oh, look, you can always hope. All you have to do is do your best, go out and try for the team, and then you never know what can happen in the future.
You played a bit of football for the under-21s, of course, isn't that right? Or minors, was it?
Yeah, McCrory football did the minors for a lot of years and then under-21s as well. So, but then got injured, and that kind of set me back. But I'm really starting to enjoy my football again, so looking forward to it now the rest of the year.
Yeah, and the other lad that's in the corner forward, 15, is he a brother of yours?
Evan, yeah, he's my wee brother. He's only come in, that's what I mean, them young boys coming through.
He played very well.
He is, he's got a wee bit of speed about him, so he has. So he's a different player altogether than I am, but no, he's doing well there. He's really stepped up this year anyway.
And it's nice to be out in the pitch with your younger brother and lifting silverware, of course.
Oh, we've never played together up until now, until senior football, so it's nice to have him on that team and winning stuff together, because not too often you get to do that.
And your management setup, Hassan from Derry in there doing a good job?
He has, he's really brought us all together, really brought the club together. Just as a manager altogether, he's very good, he gets every man going, his player management's excellent. Can't really fault him really at the moment.
Where did you get your hands on him?
Look, I don't know, I don't deal with that sort of transfer business.
And finally, the junior championship, 2 or 3 weeks away, so what'll be the preparations? Will you be allowed out for a couple of beers tonight and a bit of a celebration, and then get the heads down and start the hard work?
Well, not too often we get the chance to win stuff, so we'll enjoy yourselves tonight, but back to work Tuesday night and the next block of weeks, put the head down really and drive it on now, really win this championship hopefully.
And you're looking forward to that Newtown game?
I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah. Well, folks, that's Owen Curran here with us on Fermanagh GA TV. St Pat's Donagh, after being crowned the Westville Division 2 champions for 2021, and we wish them well as they progress into Division 1 next year. So that brings to a conclusion the first game here in Brewster Park, but don't go too far away, because we'll be back on air in about 5 or 10 minutes time, when we will bring you full and comprehensive coverage of the Division 1 final between Enniskillen Gaels and Derry Gonley Harps. Join us then.
Are you ready for something new? The all-new Hyundai i20 mild hybrid is ready to keep you safe. Ready to connect. And with £1,500 towards your deposit and 4.8% APR representative, it's ready for you now. The beautifully designed Hyundai i20. Ready to impress.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Brewster Park for this, the Westfield Hotel Division 1 Senior League final between Derry Harps and Enniskillen Gales. A much anticipated encounter here in Enniskillen. Unfortunately, the weather has changed dramatically over the last couple of hours, and from what was a beautiful morning here in Enniskillen, we now have heavy rain, and we're hoping that that doesn't deter the game that we're really anticipating and looking forward to. Both sides, I suppose, one being the kingpins of Fermanagh football, I would argue, for a long number of years, and Enniskillen, I suppose, maybe the new kids on the block. And I'm joined here, as you'll see, by Peter McGinnity. Peter, is that a fair reflection of where we are with this game? You know, the new kids on the block looking to dethrone the guys that have been there for quite some time.
Yes, no, I agree with you entirely. It's an opportunity for Derry to sort of restate their position going into the championship, and the Gales, this would be a massive feather in the Gales cap in their steps towards maybe dominance, is what they'll be thinking over the years. The players that they have, the number of players that they have and the quality that they have will eventually come to the top. Now, that's not 100%. There could be boys drift away, they could lose players, as would have happened to them in the past. But this is a particularly outstanding group of players. Now, they're both at different ends of their trajectory at the minute. The Gales are on their way up. People would like to think that Derry have, after last year's defeat by Ederney, that they might have just was it a blip or was it a sign of a slide? And look, it's a bit unfortunate. You mentioned about the weather. Jesus, I was hoping for a good open game, which wasn't going to be maybe decided by mistakes. But I suppose the more experienced team, Derry, the physically stronger team, they might be better able to cope with that.
Funny, that was what I was going to say to you. You look through that Enniskillen Gales team, and we'll go through it before the game starts, but they're small, particularly in the forward division, I think it's fair to say. And then you look at Derry, they have that big physical presence throughout their team, and tremendous experience as well. And on a day like this, will that count against Enniskillen?
Well, I suppose experience and strength always count. Size, funny enough, size is not that as important on a wet day, because there's not that much spectacular high catching. There'll be much more breaking ball, and it'll be about the team that's the hungriest and the better able to glean a supply of them. Look, I don't know. That's one of the reasons I'm here, was to see how the Gales cope in a match that matters. A match that matters to them now. I suppose years ago the league final would have been played on Boxing Day or something, and of little importance to either team, and nobody would have worried too much about it. Wouldn't have found out the result for a couple of weeks. But now with championship around the corner, just did 3 weeks in Enniskillen playing the championship. I think Derry did play on the Saturday night or the Friday night. Just less than 3 weeks. So this game, in the scheme of the season, this game matters because it's the last game they're going to play before they embark on championship. Now, obviously Ederney are waiting on Derry, and we'll be here in force today to get a good tight look at them. And now the Gales will probably feel that they're playing tempo relegated, so they won't be as anxious about getting to peak performance in the 2 or 3 weeks that have between now and the championship.
You mentioned the word there, hunger, and it's a huge thing in sport, as you know, Peter. And you wonder, does the hunger lie? Where does it lie most today?
Yeah, I suppose we'd always put a lot of emphasis on hunger, but there are different types of hunger. Derry are motivated by the fact that they were knocked flat on their face last year in a championship final, and they want to right that wrong. So there's a drive, I call it hunger, to put that wrong right. Gales, on the other hand, are on this upward trajectory, and they'll need a performance at the very least today to remind them that they are still on that upward trajectory. I'm not sure that either team will be catastrophically annoyed if they get beaten today, but they'll be very worried about their performance. They'll be very worried about their fitness, their performance, and the Gales will constantly be looking at opportunities, new players, like for example James Ferguson at full back. Like, where did he come out of? Although that's probably typical. I would always say that when we're playing in Enniskillen, it's not the boys you know that you need to worry about, it's the boys that you don't know.
And where do they come out of?
Where they come out of.
Josh Horn not playing today, I notice.
No, funny, he didn't. Rosley played Enniskillen last Sunday, and Josh didn't play because he had a 1-match suspension.
But played every other game in the league.
Yes, I believe he's in college in England, and whether he's not, coming home for this game, but then going to be available for a championship or not, I don't know. But gee, I'd like to have Josh Horan on my team if you could at all. Now you mentioned earlier on about size. Funny, that's one disadvantage that Enniskillen are carrying into this. There are two central defenders, James Ferguson and Johnny Castey, are not the biggest, and they're playing nominally at this stage anyway on Conal Jones and Garvin Jones. Now, in the middle of the field should be an interesting contest because both Brandon Horan and Owen Beacom are good midfielders. Certainly haven't got the experience that the Dergonley pairing of Ryan and Stephen have. So maybe a lot will hinge there. But one other interesting one is the Johnny McGorn one.
Aye, and goals. I was talking to Niall Smith there, and I was saying, Johnny McGorn that used to fire over points with his left foot in his day.
Johnny McGorn, who was a very, very, very intelligent footballer, could use both feet, and was a very, very good free taker. So you can see where I'm going with this. Short kickouts, long kickouts, varied kickouts, available to play the ball when the defence gets it into a tight spot. Johnny will be available. So it'll be interesting to see, is he an answer to one of their, look, they've had good keepers in their day.
The current keeper, and his name just eludes me. I played in the final, Jack. Jack, oh dear, his name, Jack Kelly, isn't it? Yeah. Jack's injured, I believe.
Right. Well then, funny enough as it was, that's probably why Johnny has got the shout. But I know for a fact that they're pleased with what Johnny McGorn is doing for them. Let's face it, a goalkeeper nowadays, if he's beaten by a player coming in one-on-one, nobody says anything. But if he drops a high ball, or if he hits a poor kick out, those are the things that keepers are judged on now. Yeah.
I mentioned the word experience, and I was looking through the side. Tiernan Daly nearly 29, 30, Mickey Jones 33, Dackie Castey 37, Ryan Jones 31, Colin Jones 29, Eamon McHugh 34. All very seasoned players, and then you look at the Enniskillen Gales team, and very few players, none above the age of 30, bar Rich O'Callaghan.
Yes, but that's what we have been saying. This team is backboned by players who won the Ulster Minor Club, and have been on they're serious footballers. Now, maybe one of the problems that Enniskillen has that certainly Devonish and Rosley don't have is, do they know what their best team is? So they'll be probably trying different people. They certainly tried different people against Rosley last Sunday, just to see what they'd be like in a senior match. They'll probably be trying to find out. I would be giving them a win against Tempo, simply because of where both teams ended up in the league. Not always the best indicator, I know. But they'll need to peak for a semi-final or a final of the championship, and by then they'd need to know what their best team is. So we'll be interested to see how many subs they use today, for example. Have they got people to come in? There's people on the bench.
Patrick Castey and John Real.
Two men.
Did you be expecting? That's back to your point. Did you be expecting as starters?
Yeah, like the Ronan Beattie, Connor Watson, Connor Kelly. Those boys have all played quite a bit of football this year. So James O'Donnell too has been playing regularly. So as I say, big numbers are great, but it then presents these problems. And Derek Onley's team, on the other hand, that's a backbone of a team that we both know well.
And they have that bit of experience still on the bench, the likes of Garvin McGinley, Neil Gallagher, Paul Ward, of course, and then the bit of youth as well, Ronan McHugh and the two McGoverns. So, there's a nice blend.
There is, and they're feeding them in gradually. The leg of Ronan or Gavin McGovern and Ronan McGovern.
I see Oisín Smith started today. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen Oisín. He wasn't involved last year, just a bit part maybe.
Right. Well, I think they had been using him in the past as a midfielder. So he was the third midfielder. If there was a problem in the midfield, that's where he would go. Played a lot of his football this year, I believe, in the league in midfield. So it'll be very interesting to see what he does at wing half back. But what you can be damn sure from Oisín is you'll get everything he's got. You'll get 100%. He's physically strong. He was one of the boys during the first lockdown when all football was closed down. I'd be driving home and there'd be Oisín running around the streets, maybe passing me, me driving in the car, which was worrying.
Quite worrying indeed. No, it'll be interesting to see how Oisin gets on. I think we're just going to have the anthem now in a wee moment. Yeah, 1 minute around the vein. So maybe I'll put you on the spot, will I? Ask you to call this.
No, not as a Ruslier man. That wouldn't be fair. I'm thinking of a draw, an extra time.
2 periods of extra time, I see.
Extra time. Look at on the face of it, the experience, the big game experience, and the fact that it's an important game insofar as preparation for championship goes, you'd probably have to go with Dergonley. The Gaels, this would be some feather in the Gaels' cap if they could win this going into championship.
Does playing on their home pitch make any difference? Mind you, Dergonley are well used to Bristol Park.
No, I don't think so. The best pitch in the county, big, plenty of space, good ground, and maybe in recent years Dergonley have played as much here as the Gaels have.
Yeah. Well, we're now at the place whereby Eleanor Farry will give us a rendition of Aaron Nevean. So we'll pause for a moment and we'll rejoin you in the commentary box.
Sean cheer or shin sho fasta Nioka when cheer on of and troll Anokta him savana will Logan or yell hon boss no sell Logan is kriok we love ogna bile Shalif Kani
Excellent rendition there of Aaron Nevean from Eleanor Farry, or Eleanor McGrath as she's known as. No changes on the Derrygonley team. We're just being advised on the team news, and one change I think I heard is number 19 on the Enniskillen Gaels team. We'll give you the teams in one moment here as John Rehill is coming in wearing number 19 for Timmy Boyd. So thanks to our county secretary for that information. And one other change sees Ryan O'Donnell will wear number 29 and not 24. So that's us. We've no excuses now, Peter. We've got all the information we need. Very quickly, the Derrygonley team is Jonathan McGurn in goals, Aaron Jones wearing 2, Tiernan Daly's 3, Michael Jones is 4, Oisin Smith 5, Declan Casty 6, Aidan McKenna 7, Stephen McGullion 8 and 9 in the middle of the field, Eamon McHugh 10, Garvin Jones 11, Lee Jones 12, Stephen Gilroy 13, Colin Jones 14 and Gary McKenna number 15. Meanwhile, the Enniskillen Gaels team, Cian Newman wearing 1, the full back line Neil Love, James Ferguson, Aaron Nolan, 5 is Conor McShea, 6 is Johnny Casty, 7 is Patrick Real, 8 is Owen Beacom, 9 Brandon Horn, Ross Bogus 10, John Rehill 19, and then Conal Quinn is number 12, and full forward line Callum Jones, Richie O'Callaghan and Conor Love, and the game is underway here, and Jared Goller is our referee in a wet and damp Brewster Park as the ball is picked up over there by Garvin Jones for the Derrygonley Harps, gives it back to Oisin Smith. Smith lays it back one more time to Jones, back it comes across to Declan Casty. Enniskillen Gaels putting 12 players behind the ball immediately as the ball is fed forward out to the wing into the hands there of Lee Jones. Jones back to Aidan McKenna. McKenna, the student, gives it out to the joiner. The joiner's Eamon McHugh. McHugh in possession, 45 metres out from goal. McHugh looks up, surveys his options. Stephen McGullion is one of them, feeds the ball in, but Newman watches that one carefully and gathers and gets it out to his wing half back. That's Conor McShea, the accountant, gets it down then to Conor Love. Love coming forward with it. In fact, it's Rehill there, is it? John Rehill, yeah. John Rehill gathers possession. Long dropping ball in. McGurn playing sweeper keeper, I would suggest. Comes out, gathers that ball, does well, lays it off there to Decky Casty. Casty been put under a little bit of pressure and wins the free. Your impressions early doors, Peter?
Well, it's been cagey so far. And I suppose we had mentioned John Rehill in our exchanges before the game. I'm not a bit surprised to see him in, and I'm not a bit surprised to see Johnny McGoran where he is, because of the football that he has in him. Is not just a keeper.
Yeah, he has those attributes that can play out the field. Very useful as Patrick Rehill floats this one in. This will be a third handle of the ball for Johnny McGoran. That one's a very, very comfortable one. If they're all as comfortable throughout the day, he will be a happy man. So too will Derry Connolly as the ball fed forward, looking for Eamon McHugh. McHugh under a bit of pressure there from Johnny Casty, and the ball goes out over the sideline, far side of the field, and the referee and linesman concur that that is an Enniskillen Gales line ball, picked up there by Rehill. John Rehill lays it back one more time to Beacom. Beacom in possession for Enniskillen Gales, spreads the play over here towards Ross Bogue. Student at St Michael's, a little bit of holding inside that the referee Jared Gallagher spots. It was Conor McShea that was being held back, and the referee judges that that's a free, and Callum Jones takes it quickly, gets it back there to Patrick Rehill. Rehill 45 metres out. Derry Connolly getting plenty of men behind the ball as well. But back it goes towards Brandon Horn. Horn looks up, eventually comes to Neil Love. Love tries to thread a ball inside, gathered well on that occasion by Conor Love. Back it goes again, through the hands, and eventually to Colin Quinn. Quinn, however, is turned over here. Yeah, referee says there's a foul. Derry Connolly be pleased with that.
Yeah, that's what they'd be looking to do, is to tie people up, and it's difficult in these conditions. If you don't get the ball away quickly, your underfoot conditions aren't great, they're slippy, and you can get pulled over. Just a remark about Jared Gallagher. He's certainly letting the game flow at this stage.
Well, noted for that, I think, to be fair.
Yeah.
So the ball in the hands of the 37-year-old Declan Cassidy. Many's a game, and he has played for Derry Connolly Harps in important finals here in Brewster Park. He's involved in another one today. The ball fed forward now to Aaron Jones. Jones, just 19 years of age, gets it out to Aidan McKenna. McKenna, back it goes to Garvin Jones. Through the hands it goes to the brother Ryan. Ryan back inside to Lee Jones. This is a good move. Jones gets the shot away, but it's the opening wide of the game. It's gone the left-hand side and wide, but good football through the hands, Peter, just not the finish.
Yes, and his finishing is going to be difficult enough today with a bit of a breeze and the wet conditions. But just looking at the team, neither of them are setting up with an out-and-out sweeper. But Decky Casty is sitting back, not marking John Rehill tight, so he's a nominal sweeper for Derry Connolly. And at the other end, it's Neil Love who ends up being the free man when Enniskillen are attacking.
Brilliant take in the middle of the field there by Stephen McGullion. Moves it quickly to him and McHugh. McHugh, a wee bit of space to operate and feeds a good ball into the space there, filled by Stephen Gilroy. Gilroy close to the sideline. Good defensive play there by Neil Love. Excellent turnover by Love. Gets it to his other corner back. That is Aaron Nolan. Nolan gathers possession 20 metres out from his own goal, needs support, has it there from the county full-back Johnny Casty, but the ball has been touched on the ground according to Jared Gawler.
He was very unlucky. It was just, it was on the downward or on the upward, but it was very close to the ground.
Yeah,
you could see why it was given.
Well, referee very, very close to the action. The judge of that one was touched on the ground, and this will provide an opportunity for Garvin Jones to register the first score of the game. Garvin, of course, was away for a year there. He's back from the Middle East. He was out teaching over there for a year, but now back in the fold and back with the trusty left foot. Here he goes, kicks it, and the umpires take a look, and they like the look of that one, and it goes over the bar. First score of the game. And free takers, Peter, as you will know, are crucial and critical in games, particularly on difficult conditions like this, and Garvin Jones is a fine free taker.
Yes, free taking is still, it's been important for years and it's still important.
5 minutes played in this Westville Hotel Fermanagh Division 1 final. Free goes the way of the man from Enniskillen. Brandon Horn takes it.
And that was one of those kickouts that Enniskillen managed to break away from the Derry Connolly pairing and got the break.
Yeah.
So
that's something that they'll have to be very wary of and utilise if at all possible.
Working on that now.
Yeah. As Cian Newman feeds the ball over towards Aaron Nolan, but it's picked up by Owen Beacom. Beacom's a big physical presence, isn't he, Peter? Big man.
He's a fine midfielder. Now, probably the day doesn't suit him in terms of high fielding, but he's an effective player. He's a good striker of the ball too.
Yeah, quality player. As Cian Newman is performing the sweeper keeper role for the men from Inniskillen, just as McGorn is doing down at the other end of the pitch. Well played there, and the ball laid out to Johnny Casty. Casty injects a little bit of pace, and it goes towards Richie O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan using his physicality in, foraging hard for the ball, but well, Declan Casty done really, really well there. Very brave, gathered the ball, went to ground, won his free, and referee says...
It really was a good example of how slippery the ball. It was like a bar of soap in there. 2 or 3 men nearly had it, or thought they probably had it, but didn't quite get it.
Yeah, and Richie O'Callaghan was probably favoured to get it, but the ball was hammered hard into him, and he failed to gather it at the first attempt. And once that happens, it allows defenders to come in as the ball is laid inside there. An opportunity now for Derry Conley. Across the goal, surely a goal. It is a goal in the back of the net by Gary McKenna. It was Lee Jones who picked it up, and he fed the ball across the goals to Gary McKenna, and McKenna had the simple task of popping it into the back of the net. An important critical score in this early stages.
Obviously goals are going to be very important, and that Cole Jones did very well there actually as the target man, and then it was typical of the footballing brains that the Derry boys have and the experience they have, that none of them panicked. They laid the ball off, there was plenty of people available, and then the simplest of tasks, tapping it in.
Yeah, because Lee Jones could have went for his own opportunity there, but had the vision.
No, Lee Jones is a very, very astute footballer.
Yeah, intelligent play by Lee Jones. Fed it across, and Gary McKenna, the simple task of palming the ball into the back of the net. So a dream start for Derry Conley. The lead a goal and a point to no score. 8 minutes played here in Brewster Park in the Westfield Hotel. Division 1 League final. Derry Conley in possession. Ball in the hands of Declan Casty. Casty solos the ball, then looks up, delivers it long. A little bit of an altercation there between Ryan Jones and I think it's Brandon Horn. We'll go back to that in a moment as Derry Conley try to get another score. It's Gary McKenna, the man who got the goal a moment ago. He cuts inside and does well and pops it over the bar. So a good score for Derry Conley. And from Gary McKenna brings his tally to 1-1. But Ryan Jones and I think it was Patrick Rehill.
It was Patrick Rehill,
yeah.
I think Patrick Rehill was standing in his way to stop him. He had given the ball, stopping him going for the return, and they clashed. I'm not sure how serious it is, but he's taken a while to gather himself.
Yeah, he's picked up a fairly significant knock, but can't say that I seen what happened, to be honest. Just seen him go to ground.
Yeah, well, there's no input from the linesman either, so he must have seen. Remember, the play was quite a fair bit in front of them, and a linesman can't be expected to watch what's behind him.
Yeah. 1-2 to no score, Peter, after 9 minutes. That's a worrying statistic for Inniskillen Gaels. They need to score very soon, I would suggest.
Yeah, that's the experienced team against the common team, an inexperienced team. It was probably Inniskillen who needed to get the early goal.
Foul there on Patrick Rehill. Sorry, on John Rehill, I should say, by Declan Cassidy. So the free will go the way of the man from Inniskillen. Picked up there now by Ross Bogue. Bogue, still a student at St Michael's, gives the ball to Patrick Rehill. Rehill does well, goes inside. Declan Cassidy chips the ball forward, but too much on it. That one will go out over the sideline. Yep, and it'll be a line ball. Johnny McGorn out quickly to receive the line ball and then spreads the play over the far side of the field to Oisin Smith. Smith looks up, gives a good ball forward, punt pass to Garvin Jones. Jones got the opening score of the game with a free. Still coming forward with it, looks up, left-footed into space. That space is filled by Gary McKenna. McKenna has had a great start to the game. Did he touch on the ground? Referee says he did.
Yeah, I thought he did, but obviously, as you said before, Joe Gallagher was much closer to it than us.
Yeah.
And on dirty days like this, you don't often see those sort of ones given. But obviously, he's up at the play and he knows what's happening.
Well, Inniskillen have possession of the football through Ross Bogue. Gives it back to Johnny Casty. Casty looking up, has Conor McShea with him. McShea picks it up, ball goes to ground. Back it goes to Owen Beacom. Everyone thought calling for a throw ball on that occasion, but eventually Beacom gets it back to his goalkeeper, Cian Newman. Newman looks up, spreads the play over the far side to Aaron Nolan. 45 metres out from his own goal. Ball fed forward again, well won on that occasion by Callum Jones. Jones looks up and feeds it into Richard O'Callaghan. This is the first real positive move that Enniskillen Gaels have mustered in this game, but it was very close to the sideline, and I think what Richard O'Callaghan was trying to do was kick it off the Derrygonnelly player so he'd get a line ball, but that didn't work out, and he kicked it straight to a Derrygonnelly man, and now Derrygonnelly come and build another attack through Eamon McHugh. McHugh, 34 years of age, putting down the burners there, gives it back to Ryan Jones. Ryan Jones looks up, threads the ball over the far side of the field to Oisin Smith. Smith, the student over in Dundee University, travelling home for all these games, gives it back there to Decky Casty. Casty out to Aidan McKenna. McKenna looks up, 65 metres out from the goal. Has support there from Lee Jones, the man who set up the first goal. Brilliant play by Lee Jones. Still Jones going, a little bit of space to operate, and gives it off, or tried to feed it off there to Ryan Jones, but it was well intercepted and well cut out. And the opportunity now for Enniskillen Gaels, it was Patrick Real who cut out that ball. Excellent play by him. Gets it over now to Conor Love. Love's first opportunity to have a shot at posts, and it goes to the left hand side and goes wide, but only after an intervention from the goalkeeper Jonathan McGurn to put that one round the post.
I have to say that move all really started from a brilliant interception by Patrick Real.
Yeah.
He attacked the ball. He wasn't going to get it with his hands, got his toe to it, and not only did that, but he directed it straight to a Gaels man, and that's where the move started.
And the Gaels need, I would suggest, Peter, that little bit to move the ball quicker, because they need that bit of space to operate on. Once Derrygonnelly get back in numbers, it becomes difficult for them.
Yes, and the way Johnny McGorn's playing as an extra, he's nearly their sweeper, as well as Declan Casty dropping back. So they need to get things in very quickly before they get well set up and comfortable.
So an opportunity for Callum Jones to open his account, and indeed Enniskillen Gaels' account. Here, after 13 minutes played, we'll be edging towards the first water break very soon. Left-footed, difficult conditions, low trajectory, and again it's been well defended by Derrygonnelly. Lee Jones back there doing his defensive duties. In fact, it was Aaron Jones, the brother, two of them very much alike.
Yes.
One wearing 2 and the other wearing 12. I thought it was Lee, but it was Aaron, just 19 years of age, is Aaron Jones. And of course, on today we think about their father Peter and his sudden and untimely death during the summer. A very sad day, a sad time for the Jones family, but good to see the two lads back out playing here today.
Yes, in fairness to them, they're very civil fellas, as was their father. And I could see nothing else for them but to get back involved. It's just what they would do.
Yeah, well, good to see them back involved today, as the Enniskillen Gaels win that free. This time it'll be Colin Quinn, I think, that'll hit it.
Yeah, and Conal is a good free taker now. The only thing that might hold him back here is the underfoot.
Well, he hits it well, but has he the accuracy? Off the upright and gone to the left and gone wide. So still no score for Enniskillen Gaels, who've played, well, we're at the 15-minute mark. I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Love calls for the water break at this stage. No, he's going to allow another play as the ball is fed out there towards brilliant play there by Ryan Jones. Knew exactly where Oisin Smith was, and Smith intelligently gathered the ball and takes it on the second attempt. Now a punt pass inside, good ball, well gathered, but again the difficult conditions, it slid away at the crucial time there from Stephen Gilroy. And Enniskillen Gaels turn this one over, and they are awarded the free taken quickly there towards Ross Bogue. Bogue looks up, good ball into space, looking for Conor Love. Love hoping to get Enniskillen Gaels' first score. Love looks as if he's picked up a bit of an injury there. The referee's going to stop the play. Didn't see a lot in it, Peter. Your thoughts?
I think it's Callum Jones maybe. Wearing 13.
Oh yeah, Callum Jones. Yeah, you're right.
He seemed to fall.
But he's on his face.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be a collarbone or anything with the way he tried to save himself. But he does look in some distress now.
Yeah, he is in a bit of discomfort down there, it has to be said. probably, as you said, Peter, probably the way he fell.
Yes, I think it was the way he fell. There was nothing untoward in the way he was tackled. That he just fell awkwardly, and it was the landing that caused the problems.
Yeah, maybe Jared Goller will think it's an appropriate time to call for the water break. Dr. Niall Gibson down there giving the attention to Callum Jones, and he does. He does look in a bit of bother.
He's in the right hands with Dr. Niall, I can assure you.
Yeah.
Just going back to that last kick out that Derek only had, and we were talking about Johnny McBurn's influence on the game. A brilliant kick out, placed towards the wing half forward Ryan Jones, came onto it and tapped it down. Just simple, secure
But
possession.
intelligent play too from Archie Smith, the way he positioned himself for the break.
Yeah, like he wasn't going to be jumping.
No,
he knew what his
he
role.
knew to stay down. Yeah. That's good coaching, I would suggest.
Yeah.
So
Derek only then have an out in Garvin Jones at 11, who's playing midfield. Stephen McGullion and Ryan, those three men across the field. So very difficult for the Gaels to get enough men involved.
We can get another wee look at the incident here on replay. Well, there's going to be a change, you know. Callum Jones. We didn't get a look at that, as it turns out, Peter.
No.
But it's serious enough insofar as Callum Jones has had to go off as Conor Love comes forward now. Love tries to feed the ball. I'm not sure what Conor was thinking of there.
I think he was trying to play it to himself. There's nobody else to play.
It's not often you see that.
No, not.
But if he'd held the ball, maybe he might have got a free.
Well, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
It is. And I'm blessed with it.
Funny, Enniskillen have started to turn Derek on over now and are winning the kick-outs. Just a little bit of a change.
Just need that score, I think.
Yes, I think so, to settle it.
Get the confidence going. Oh, brilliant tackle. What a tackle by Eamon McHugh. Super dispossession there.
And that is experience, and calmness in the tackle.
As the ball is picked up there by Garvin Jones. The referee allows play to continue. Richie O'Callaghan's strong, going forward. Now the referee says that there was no advantage accruing, so he's going to bring it back. And surely this is going to be the opening score of the game for Enniskillen. But it's got a little bit scrappy.
It has, but scrappy in favour of the Gaels. They're benefiting from the scrappy.
Callum Jones down below us. I think you called it, Peter. It's the arm or the shoulder.
Just he's sort of holding it anyway. But as I say, he's got the right man in charge. Yeah,
it's unfortunate to see Callum Jones making his way off. Big loss to the Enniskillen Gaels team. Fermanagh manager Kieran Donnelly's here this afternoon. He watched the first game, which Derry Lynn lost out to Boy and St Pat's side 4-12 to 1-11, and Kieran's going to join us at half time for a word, his first interview on Fermanagh GA TV, so we're really looking forward to that. So don't go anywhere at half time. Don't switch off or don't go and get your cup of tea, because Kieran Donnelly will be joining us here for a couple of words as the ball is floated in, but that one's gone badly to the left hand side or right hand side and gone wide. And again, conditions, Peter, adding to it, but still those sorts of kicks at this level really should be going over the bar.
Yeah, look at Garvin Jones had one chance from a difficult enough angle, and he scored it. Those things are going to matter. That's, in fairness to Conal Quinn, he hit a brilliant free. Unfortunately, it just came back. It hit the outside of the post and went wide. Caleb Jones, before he went off, struck a 45 that didn't amount to a problem for Derry. So there's 2 or 3 opportunities, and that one there's 2 or 3 opportunities that would have put them.
Yeah, as you've said, the last 5 minutes or 6 minutes of this opening quarter, Enniskillen Gaels have been turning over Derry Gonley. They're winning more break ball. They have much more possession. They're winning some frees to get scores, but they're not converting.
No, they still haven't got a score on the board.
Yeah. But Sean Flanagan down there, along with Paul Green and Mickey Glynn, an experienced trio, it has to be said, will be very happy, I would suggest, with how their team have opened up. And I suppose on a day like this, a goal early in a game is a huge boost.
Timmy Boyd has come in for Caleb Jones.
Yeah, Timmy Boyd has come in for Jones, yeah.
Probably a different type of player. He's more of a middle third player, setting things up. taking chances.
Yeah, good on the ball.
Yeah, good on the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas Calum is more of a finisher.
Finisher, yeah. We watched him out in Tempo last year.
All right,
and he was good. That
He pulled a lot of strings.
He did. He was very good that day. So I was a wee bit surprised that he wasn't starting today, but he's in the fray now. As the ball is picked up well there by Conor McShea. McShea looks up, gives it inside to Brandon Horn. Horn, left-footed, jinked inside, but it comes off the chest of John Rehill there. And again, difficult conditions, but Rehill probably should have, all honesty, has been holding that ball. As now the counter-attack from Eamon McHugh. McHugh looks up and spots Lee Jones going through the centre, but, well, that's another example of the conditions. Eventually comes out there to Stephen Gilroy, goes to the post, but he drops it short, and it goes into the safe hands of Cian Newman for Enniskillen, and they will try to plot their way forward again. Again, it goes back to Cian Newman. Newman across the field to Neil Love. Love looks forward, gives it to Aaron Nolan. Nolan spreading the play. Enniskillen using the width of Brewster Park here as Nolan looks up. Good ball inside again. This time it's well held by Rehill. Rehill solos the ball, tries to take on his marker, does well as markers. Aaron Jones still going forward, but slips again on the greasy conditions here. Aaron Nolan gathers possession now. Derry Conley have plenty of numbers back there. Nolan does well, threads a ball out into space. Back it goes there to Owen Beacom. Beacom switches the play over the far side of the field, and then the Enniskillen Gaels look to attack from the left-hand side here in Brewster Park with Patrick Rehill. Rehill having to come back out, gives it Brandon Horn. Horn holds on to the ball safely. Derry Conley have everybody bar one player behind the ball as the ball is fed in dangerously, but it breaks favourably for the Derry Conley Harpsmen via Aaron Jones, and he gives it to Jonathan McGorn. McGorn gets it back out to Oisín Smith. Smith started this game particularly well. Gets it out to Eamon McHugh, another man who's featured very prominently in the game. Back it goes to Smith. Smith, strong and athletic, gives it down there towards Decky Casty. Casty looks up, is fouled. The referee awards the free. Free taken quickly. Great run by Stephen McGullion. McGullion, little bit of space to operate, and can he finish? Will he lay it off? The answer is he can finish. Yes, indeed he can. Over the bar it goes. Stephen McGullion pops the ball over the bar, and that all resulted from that turnover back deep in their own defence. A ball that was floated in speculatively by Enniskillen, turned over, and Oisín Smith and Eamon McHugh working it up the line to Stephen Gilroy, and over the bar it went. Or to Stephen McGullion, I should say.
Actually, you mentioned that the ball broke favourably for the Derry defence. It broke favourably for them because they had people who were in there and looking for it. The Gaels were a bit light in terms of the number of players they had in there. Somebody chasing it in would have come onto it neatly.
First score in 16 minutes. It has to be said that it's been low scoring. 1-2 to no score after 8 minutes, and we went to the 24th minute before we registered another score. That coming from the boot of Stephen McGullion, as Enniskillen are awarded a free inside for a little bit of holding.
Yes, Aaron Jones was holding on to Patrick Rehill, who now seems to be playing in the full forward line along with Richie. Yeah,
and Conor Love will be the man, surely, to open Enniskillen Gaels' account. Yes, indeed he does, from a free. First score of the game for Enniskillen, 25 minutes played, Peter.
Yes, but I suppose there only has been 5 scores in total, and they've got 1/5 of them.
Yeah.
Obviously not the goal, but they're winning plenty of possession here. Yeah.
Good play by Beacom, holds possession, gives it back. Tackles go in there on Ross Bogue by Ryan Jones. Referee awards the free. Route 1 again in towards Rehill, and also in there Richard O'Callaghan. Rehill does well, but good defensive play on that occasion by Tiernan Daly. He was very brave, put his body in front and deflected the ball away. Brave bit of play there by Tiernan Daly.
Yes, and the other significant factor were there were 4 Derry defenders there with just Richie and Patrick Rehill.
And now the opportunity to counter again for the Derry men. Strong play there again by Lee Jones. Held off his man really well, and then shows a little bit of pace, cuts across his man. This is excellent from Lee Jones, and he lays it forward there to Conal Jones. Conal Jones is hauled down by James Ferguson. Will the referee want to have a word with James Ferguson?
Oh, I would say now, I know that James plays rugby, but that was that was as close to a black card as you could get.
It may well be. Yeah,
to him.
he took his time. He may well have listened to his officials on the sideline.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the colour of this card. As
yeah, if you were going to be showing referees what a black card looked like in play, that would be one example you might use. And maybe back to that inexperienced thing that we were talking about earlier on. You know, that's a player who, okay, I'll go for it, not realising the full difficulty of it, or the full.
Great dispossession there by Owen Beacom on Conal Jones, but Jones goes back again and wins the ball, and then hits a wonderful effort in there. What a score from Conal Jones. Well, was it a free? It looked as if Beacom had turned him over, and then he went back, but it was a wonderful score. We'll say that, Peter.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
When he got this chance, seemed to have moved Richie out to the middle of the field here. But I'll tell you what, the ball would need to be sticking a bit better inside.
Yeah.
A lot of the Gaels' possession has been in there, being gobbled up by 3 or 4 players.
Tiernan Daly again, strong play by Daly. In our pre-match, we talked about hunger. Well, and Derry Connolly are showing it all. It has to be said, they're fiercely committed, particularly in their defensive duties.
Yes, and I suppose when you put hunger with strength and experience, then you have a good package. The Gaels are putting, it'd be great to win this, it'd be good to win this, but they're still making mistakes. Simple mistakes.
Yeah.
The ball's not sticking in their full forward line. I don't know how long they're going to keep drilling it in. I suppose with Conor Love in there, what else would you do?
True, yeah. As the ball is won over there again by Oisin Smith. Smith does well. Athletic, as I said earlier. Good ball inside. Opportunity now for Stephen Gilroy. Gilroy pops it over the bar. Another fine score. And again, Oisin Smith involved in that one.
Yes, funny enough, he laid it off to Pat, I think they call him, Stephen Gilroy. And he wasn't tempted to go for it from a difficult angle. He was more than happy to take the point. Just keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah, he was very.
There is a bit of daylight now.
There is.
It's 1-5 to a point.
He was cool and calm and collected. He had it in his mind what he wanted to do, and he executed it really well. And he popped it over the bar for a point to leave it 1-5 to a point. As Peter says, 7 point is the gap now as the ball is in the hands of Richard O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan tried to go forward. Was there a foul there? The referee allows play to continue. That ball is hit in by Patrick Rehal, and Patrick Rehal with a fine score pops it over. So, maybe that is a route that Enniskillen Gaels need to be thinking about. Maybe a couple of scores from long distance.
Yes. Like Owen Beacom can score from long distance. He hasn't got on the ball yet. Patrick Rehal displayed there that he can as well. So I think kicking it in and hoping for the best against 3 or 4 defenders it hasn't been productive so far. That's Johnny McGovern's kick out again on top of Ryan Jones at wing half forward.
Yeah, Ryan Jones making himself available for all those kick-outs. Eventually comes into the hands of Richard O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan gets it out to the point scorer a few moments ago. That was Rehal. Back inside it goes to Brandon Horn. Possession football for Enniskillen. Out it comes to Ross Bogue. Bogue feeds it forward. Gets it back. Ball very, very close to the end line. I'd say Derry Connolly will shadow this one out over the end line. Again, the ball going into the forwards isn't good.
Yeah, there has been too many of the ball that has been played in that hasn't either stuck or been good enough to be won by the full forward line. And kicking on a day like this where the ball is, once it hits the ground, it's like to skate. It's difficult.
That's an example of it. It skid off the ground. Despite his best efforts, John Rehal had no chance of getting that ball. As the board goes up, there'll be 3 minutes of additional time to be played in this first half. Ball fed forward, intelligent running again by Lee Jones, popping up everywhere. Jones lays it back there to Garvin Jones. Back to his brother. 3 Jones brothers, Garvin, Conal and Ryan. Ryan in possession, good ball again over towards Oisin Smith. Smith might fancy this one from distance. Smith gets a shot away. Smith's shot goes over the bar. That's a brilliant score from Oisin Smith, and he has been a star in this first half, it has to be said. He's won break ball, he's set up scores, he's used the ball particularly well, and now he pops up at a wonderful point.
Yes, and he's not listed in the forward. He set up the last point for Stephen Gilroy. And the two players playing on the wing, like Lee Jones on this side, has been very productive as well.
There's a lot of this first half that Derry Conley will be very, very happy about. The lead 6-2, and that could be extended as Aidan McKenna comes forward, but leaves the ball behind him, and Richie O'Callaghan takes the ball out, gets it to Owen Beacom. Beacom gathers the ball, looks up, gives the ball forward towards Rehill, or towards Timmy Boyd, I should say. Boyd eventually comes into the hands of Conor Love. Conor Love, route one again, but Johnny McGurn's watching this one all the way, and that's, well, food and drink for Johnny McGurn. He just gathers that one at ease and gets Derry Conley moving again through Decky Cassidy. Decky Cassidy over on the far side, gives it back inside to Ryan Jones. This is a very controlled Derry Conley performance. 1-6-2 the lead. Ball flicked off there to Aidan McKenna. McKenna, everybody comfortable in possession, good movement, always the man there to receive the ball if need be, as that ball is fed forward. Not a good one on that occasion by Ryan Jones, and Enniskillen turn it over. Can they get a score before half time? A little bit of the energy and a little bit of the spark has gone out of this Enniskillen Gaels team in the last few moments. They're betwixt and between as to whether to run the ball or kick it in. This time they're starting to run it in the shape of Ross Bogue. Bogue gives it back towards Timmy Boyd. Boyd, centre of the field, drops the ball, flicks it away. Fortunate that Colin Quinn is there to gather it. Colin Quinn does well, but a good tackle again by Oisin Smith as the ball goes in the hands of Timmy Boyd. Now a little bit of space for John Rehill to operate in. Rehill does well, gathers the ball, gives it back inside towards Conor Love. Love back to Rehill. This would be an excellent score if it goes over the bar. That is an excellent score, much needed score, it has to be said, but it was well worked. It was a good foot pass in to John Rehill. He gathered it first time, and that's the difference. He was able then to operate in a little bit of time and space.
Yes, there was a good pass in. It was played out to the wing. He wasn't under that much. He got to it first, not under serious pressure. He was able to chip lift it and then interchange with Conor Love and get the ball over the bar. A very important score for Enniskillen just on the stroke of half time.
Yeah, so 6 points between the sides, Peter, at half time. A deserved lead, I would suggest. I they've been very efficient.
I think that's fair enough. I suppose the goal catapulted them into a 6-point lead. But in general, they have a range of scores. They have been very competent in their score taking. And in fact, at the back, they've been very in control as well, with extra defenders getting back, and any long ball, hopeful ball has been eaten up by the Derry Conley players.
Yeah. Well, half time here. We're glad to say that thank you, Peter, for your contribution, and you'll be with us very soon for the full second half. But I'm delighted to say that Kieran Donnelly, the new Fermanagh County Senior Manager, is going to join us here on Fermanagh GATV. In fact, we're going to move locations, so give us one minute and we'll be back with you right away as we'll move to a location further up the press box area. So don't go too far away, we'll be back in 30 seconds.
their big players are playing, balls sticking inside. Ian McHugh has been excellent at 10, Steve McGullion, Ocean Smith has been excellent from deep. So no, there's a lot more fluidity to their play, a lot more energy and more industry and just better decision making, I suppose, especially in conditions like that. They're keeping it simple.
Effective and efficient, Derek Onley, I would say.
Exactly. Look, years of experience. They're physically bigger as well, you know, and they're using that bit of experience, and not taking contact in key zones is a big thing, and getting the ball to the scoring zone. They've taken some excellent scores. They're just at vital times. You wouldn't have said in that first 15 minutes, probably possession-wise, both teams very similar in terms of the amount of ball they had. It's just the use of it, and probably look at that and come with this Ennisgill and Gales team. People have tipped them for the future. No doubt some of them will come, but just confidence has been nipped away. They took 10 minutes to score the first score in a final. That's vital, and look, maybe it seems to have ebbed. The confidence has ebbed from this past 10 minutes, but you never know. They could get a spark at the start of the second half.
So, Kieran, we're here to chat about the big job that you've taken on. There's only 32 county managers in all of Ireland, and I suppose it's a privileged position first and foremost, but you've been steeped in Fermanagh football from a very young age. If you even take you back to 1982, the mascot with John McElroy in the Ulster final, right through to playing with the county, managing the minor team, coaching with the senior county team in 2011, 2012 with Peter Canavan. But now you've got the big job. What your initial thoughts? Are very pleased, I assume.
Yeah, the mascot one's always pulled out. 82, it goes far back as that. I can remember that day very well, changing beside Peter McGinty, and it was a brilliant day for the county. You're right, Jed. It's a great honour. It's something, you know, I've grew up always wanting to. I suppose firstly being a player and representing your county was a massive privilege, but to get this honour is massive. You know, it's a challenge. It's something I'm looking forward to, and we have good players in the county. There's no doubt about that. We've had many success.
Years ago, and then you have Second half just underway here in Brewster Park. The rain, which had eased a little in that opening half, has come back. Quite heavy drizzle out there now at the moment. Enniskillen Gaels in possession with Patrick Rehill to Aaron Nolan. Nolan is fouled. Referee awards the free and taken quickly. And it goes there to Rehill, gets it back to Timmy Boyd. Boyd lays it off one more time. Possession in the hands there of Aaron Nolan, but he took it into the tackle, and Derry Gonley had lots of players there as Ryan Jones, strong from Jones, hauled down to the ground by Owen Beacom. Of course, Peter Enniskillen Gaels down to 14 men with the black card of James Ferguson.
Yes, and the adjustment they've made is they've got Richie O'Callaghan back to centre half back, and Johnny
That was a high challenge there.
Now the player might have.
I'm not sure who it was, Peter.
I think it was Owen Beacom, maybe. He might have been slipping. He might have been going down as the tackle came in.
Yeah, a little bit of aggro on the sideline there between John Rehill and Sean Flanagan, but that the referee wants a word with Ryan Jones, so it'll be interesting to see what colour the card will be here. Yellow card for Ryan Jones.
Look at it, in fairness, in defence of Ryan, I think he was falling.
Yeah.
He was coming in with a flailing arm, but if they had hit him on the chest, it wouldn't have even been regarded.
So end up a free in. Free in for Enniskillen, and Brandon Horn kicks it left footed. Good ball into space, well gathered on that occasion. You can't call a mark from a free. Conor Love was indicating he wanted the mark, but Ryan Jones back there gathering up and sweeping and cutting out the danger, gives it forward to Garvin Jones. Garvin back, it goes to Stephen McGullion. McGullion to Ryan Jones, and Decky Casty motoring down off his shoulder. Casty now looks up, delivers a high lob and dangerous ball. Newman comes out, gets a fist up, but back into the Derry Gonley horseman, Eamon McHugh. Back it goes to Gary McKenna. Got a goal in the first half. Can he get a score? The answer is it's gone to the left hand side and gone wide, but again Derry Gonley looked threatening on that attack.
Yes, the Gaels were very fortunate there when the ball spilled out. The Derry Gonley players were flooding in after it and picked up the break.
Ball picked up now by Timmy Boyd. Boyd, the pressure being applied high up the field by Derry Gonley. Well worked out by Enniskillen. Colin Quinn gets it back there to Aaron Nolan. Nolan into Richie O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan 45 metres out from goal. Good ball towards Conor McShea. A little bit of space for McShea, lays it off to Casty. This is much better. There's a good move from Enniskillen. Casty didn't gather it first time and the ball went to ground, but Casty is adjudged to being fouled, and it's so crucial on a day like this to get first time possession, Peter.
Yes, and it's also very crucial for the Gaels to get Johnny Casty on the ball.
Yeah.
And even for Fermanagh, it's important that he gets on the ball. For those driving runs, they're penetrating runs. Now, Gaels need to get a score from the free.
It's Owen Beacom, is it? Yeah. He's going to kick this. Left footed on his home patch. Beacom hits it well, hits it over the bar. First score of the game for Owen Beacom, and well, a score the other side of half time, Peter, for Enniskillen Gaels brings it down to a 5-point gap.
Yes, and funny enough, that move really started with Richie O'Callaghan at centre half back with the ball. He picked out a great pass to the player, to Timmy Boyd, I think it was, running on.
Ball won again by Ryan Jones. And wins the free. Driven in long. Breaks loose. James Ferguson. It's back on. His 10 minutes must be up.
Yeah. But
the ball goes out over the sideline.
Ball given away because James Ferguson had it. Johnny thought he was going to go on ahead, but he wasn't. He was looking to play it to Johnny, and he was caught.
Now an opportunity for Garvin Jones with the left foot, gets the shot in. That's a fine effort from Garvin Jones, but just goes slightly to the right hand side and goes wide. Second wide of the second half for Enniskillen, or for Derrygonnelly I should say. They lead here 1-6-4. Short kick out, worked well. Conor McShea, not a good ball, and some basic errors.
Yes, well, funny enough, looking back on that pass that James Ferguson made to Johnny, they're causing problems for themselves.
Yeah, that's another example of that.
Yes, and it wasn't because of the pressure that Derrygonnelly. In fairness, Derrygonnelly's pressure high up the pitch is good, but there was no pressure there, and you can't afford to be.
Hayden Smith has to make his way the whole way into the terrace on the far side there to gather the ball. No ball boys in the stand. I see one person with an umbrella way high up at the back of the terrace there.
I was thinking anybody with any sense wouldn't be in the terrace in the day.
Well, the ball has been retrieved by Aidan McKenna, and he's in possession. Goes to ground, feeds it back there to Stephen McGullion. McGullion has support from Oisin Smith. Smith lays it back to Jones. Jones foraging forward again. Lays it back to the brother. Lee is fouled. And now there's going to be a change. And it's going to be Aidan McKenna, the man who was up in the stand there a while ago. He's going to be replaced by number 18, Ryan McGovern. I think Ryan McGovern, I think he's been struggling with some injuries, Peter, from what I gather throughout the year. So
yeah, it'll be interesting if you play wing half back. Does that mean an adjustment for them?
You wouldn't expect him to play there, would you?
No, Ryan would prefer to be further forward, but
field,
it might be dangerous enough coming from that position.
Ball fed in long by Ryan Jones, up the go for it. Well fisted away on that occasion by James Ferguson, and it goes into the hands of Neil Love. Love gives it forward there towards Timmy Boyd. Boyd lays it off to Colin Quinn. Quinn tackles go on quickly. Boyd gets it back again to Conor McShea. McShea does well. Drifts in round his man. Gives it back to Colin Quinn. Quinn involved a couple of times. This is a better attack, but brilliant from Tiernan Daly again. But the ball spins loose. Who's going to pick it up? It's going to be Aaron Jones, I think, back there that gathers it. Derrygonnelly so robust and so aggressive in their tackles and their determination to win ball. Ball now in the hands of Garvin Jones. Garvin over the far side of the field. Lays it off one more time. Switches over this side of the field to the ever-willing Declan Cassidy. Hard to believe this man's 37 years of age, never stops running. Can he finish with a score? Lays it off one more time. On this occasion is picked up by the corner forward Gary McKenna. Did he carry it too far? Referee indicates that he did, so free out.
Yes, but that was a sweeping move that in difficult conditions, a turnover in the very corner of their own defence, the left-hand corner, and eventually a shot that was a good shot, but ball had been overcarried.
1-6-4. Derrygonnelly still to register a score in the second half. Something that will concern them a little. And the Enniskillen Gaels still having plenty of possession, but still making these basic errors that you spoke about a few moments ago, Peter. There's another one, the ball given away, but on this occasion no damage done. But they expend more energy retrieving the ball and getting the move started again over on the far side with Conor McShea, the accountant, 24 years of age, gives it back to the 30-year-old teacher. That's Richie O'Callaghan. Back it goes to James Ferguson. Ferguson to O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan over towards Aaron Nolan. Nolan coming forward, faced by Eamon McHugh. Gives it back inside to Patrick Reel. Reel slips it inside, goes to ground. Timmy Boyd. Pressure applied immediately. And Enniskillen Gaels have to start again. Everybody bar one Derrygonnelly player behind the ball. That's Stephen Gilroy. He's the lone attacker up there. Ball is in the hands of Richard O'Callaghan. Gets it back to Aaron Nolan. Nolan to Brandon Horn, and Horn will have to drive at this Derrygonnelly defence, try and create some opportunities. Two midfielders really haven't ventured forward too much, to be fair to Enniskillen. Maybe that's something they can look at as the ball is fed in, but that'll be easy for Jonathan McGorn. That's another shot dropped short. That's 3 or 4 that Enniskillen Gaels have dropped short in this game. Ball picked up again there by Garvin Jones. He's working exceptionally hard for this Derrygonnelly side. Gives it back to the brother. Cole eventually comes out this side to Decky Cassidy. Decky Cassidy held up for a moment but still manages to glide round a few players and then delivers a long ball. This time Owen Beacom reads the danger, flicks the ball forward there towards Patrick Reel. Reel has Owen Beacom alongside him. Still Patrick Reel feeds it inside there to Conal Quinn. Back it goes to Timmy Boyd. Boyd gives it to Johnny Cassidy. Maybe Cassidy can run and break a line or two, but again Derrygonnelly and Garvin Jones putting in some excellent tackling. Back it goes to Johnny Cassidy. A wee bit more space on this occasion, but again the two midfielders haven't joined this attack again, and it's another turnover. And it's Garvin Jones again as the ball goes to ground, this time well dispossessed. And the Skilling Gales have another opportunity with Richie O'Callaghan. Long high dropping ball, but there's no match in there at all. It's easy for Stephen McGullion to pick that ball up. Gets it out to Ryan Jones. Jones does well. Gets it back to Decky Cassidy. Cassidy 45 metres out from his own goal. Slips the ball inside there to the sub who was introduced a few moments ago. That's Rian McGovern. McGovern with a little bit of space to operate in. Not a good ball to McGovern. Easily intercepted. The ball given to Owen Beacom. Beacom lays it back. And eventually it comes out to Patrick Reel. To Owen Beacom. Beacom 45 metres out. Beacom looks up and Derrygonnelly have plenty of players back in there. Sweeping and closing out all the gaps. So Enniskillen Gales will have to run it through the hands. Love in possession. Lays it off, gets it back again, slips and goes to ground. Eventually is gathered by Owen Beacom. Beacom hits a shot in, but it was a hit and hope ball, Peter, wasn't it?
I'm not sure what he was hoping to do there, but the Gales are not having any luck going in there. Aaron Jones is sitting back now as a full-time sweeper, so the kick is going to be very difficult. Running the ball against a physically strong, high play or a good pressing Derrygonnelly team is also difficult. Whereas there's a Ryan Jones kick that's gone in.
Well, diagonal ball,
yes,
much better.
And a Derrygonnelly possession. The Gales just can't seem to do that.
Well, an opportunity now for Eamon McHugh. He's had a fine game. McHugh lays it back out there. An opportunity now for Gary McKenna. McKenna gets the shot away. McKenna's shot looks good. It is good. Over the bar it goes. Brings his tally to 1 goal and 2 in this game, but more importantly eases Enniskillen Gales or Derrygonnelly Harps into a 6-point lead here, 17-4. But that there attack shows the difference between the teams, doesn't it?
Almost the economy of effort.
Yeah.
The Gales have been camped in the Derrygonnelly half, had various chances, had various different options of attack, running the ball, kicking it in. They got success from none of them. Derrygonnelly came down the field, a good diagonal ball from Ryan Jones, and they constructed a score with Gary McKenna and Eamon McHugh involved.
Well, cups of substitutions now. I see Ronan Beattie and Conor Kelly coming on, and it's John Reel, number 19, and Ross Bogue, number 10, who will make their way off. So Ross Bogue tried hard, worked hard. He's a prospect by the looks of things, Peter.
Yes, he's also a very good goalkeeper as well.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's strong for his age. He's only a young lad, I believe, 18, 19 years of age. Ball fed forward now on this occasion, going to ground and gathering that ball well is the substitute that came on, Conor Kelly. Kelly faced up there by a couple of Derrygonnelly players. Not a great ball back out, but Kelly's foraging hard for it. But who's back there winning possession one more time? Decky Cassidy. He's phenomenal.
Yes, in fairness to him, he has a great engine. He's also a good player. He knows where to go, he knows where to be to have an effect on the game. He knows when to go forward, he knows when to sit back, and he's very determined to get the ball.
He's had a terrific game, and particularly in this second half he's been excellent as Oisin Smith comes forward to the ball. Smith, referee says he threw the ball. Looked as if he had played that one, but referee again close to the play makes the decision. Now a little bit of a conversation as to who's going to hit this for Enniskillen Gales. Eventually Owen Beacom is the man who's going to step forward and take the shot, but there's no urgency about this in a Skilling-Gales team, even prepping to take this free. Two of them walked over to take it, then Beacom decided, no, I'll take it, and 30-40 seconds have passed. They're trailing by 6 points. Beacom shoots, left-footed, in round the danger area it goes, but well held. Back inside there again. Good defensive play, comfortably dealt with, and out come Derry Gonley again with Smith. It was, I think it was Stephen McGullion who caught that ball back on the line. Well, the referee decides that there's a overcarrying there, I think, by
I think it was
Tiernan.
a throw. He had
Throw.
judged Tiernan Daly had thrown the ball.
So free goes the way of Enniskillen. Ball fed over towards Brandon Horn. Horn lays it off to Love. Love coming out further and further, seeking to get his hand on ball. Gives it inside there to Timmy Boyd. That looks like a free high challenge. Yep. Jared Love indicates that for the high challenge, the free will go the way of Enniskillen. But it's not the urgency, Peter, that you would expect.
Yes, that we were hoping they'd come out within the second half. Now, it's not that they're not getting enough possession, but in terms of penetration and causing Derry problems in their full back line or causing them problems on the scoreboard, it's probably this free is.
Conor Love
is their best avenue for scores.
Yeah, 2 scores in the second half. Both have come from frees for Enniskillen-Gales. And Gary McKenna was the man who got the point from play for Derry Gonley. So it's 1-7 to 5. I suppose a big 15 minutes and a lot can happen for Enniskillen, but it just doesn't seem as if that spark is there. And I suppose maybe a credit goes to Derry Gonley for that.
Yes, I think that's true. The credit goes to Derry Gonley. On the day that's in it, the Gales they're not going to get that lovely bouncing ball, fast ground. Things have fallen Derry Gonley's way in that respect, but they must take a lot of credit for the way they have closed the game out. Look at it, there's 15 minutes left now or so, and you'd have to say the Gales probably need a goal if they're going to have any chance of winning this game.
But they haven't looked like getting one, Peter.
And they haven't looked like getting one. Not even a threat. Any high ball they've played in that has broken Derry Gonley have mopped it up. Any running moves they've had, they have been turned round and had to recycle. If they get a point, it's inevitably from a free.
Is there an opportunity for them to sort of throw caution to the wind a wee bit more here? I'm not on their case, but Owen Beacom and Brandon Horn are 2 very talented players. But have we seen them inside the Derry Gonley 45?
No, certainly not driving at the Derry Gonley team. Now, they have made a change here during the break to put Richie O'Callaghan back up to full forward. They obviously need 2 or 3 Richies.
Yeah.
Because I thought he did well at centre half when he was covering for the James Ferguson.
Yeah, so Richie gone, so that would indicate that it's maybe more route 1 again.
Yeah.
But the ball wasn't sticking, so it'll be interesting to see. Beacom and Horn out in the middle of the field. This kick out looks as if it's heading their general direction. Yeah, Brandon Horn over everybody's head. And, well, first to react there was the full-back, James Ferguson. Does well, lays it back to Horn. Horn, give it back to the keeper. And his keeper, Cian Newman, took a little slip, but he retrieved the situation. Now Brandon Horn has it, feeds it forward. Picked up there by Patrick Reel. Looks as if there's a foul on Paddy Reel there. And Reel gives it to Richie O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan to Johnny Cassidy. This is better. Oh, what a tackle there by Tiernan Daly. Oh, we've seen 2 brilliant tackles in this game. First half from Eamon McHugh and that one there from Tiernan Daly.
Yeah, brilliant. Knocked the ball. Johnny was going with the ball under his arm. Now, if Tiernan had missed, Johnny was away, but he didn't.
Yeah, that's a free. It was a substitute, Conor Kelly, who went down, gathered the ball, took a little clatter in the face, and the referee spotted it. And now he's adjudged that the ball is going to be brought forward because Derry Gonley didn't move away. So little by little, these little things may well result in a score. And if Derry Gonley or Enniskillen Gales can get it back to 4 points. It sets us up for a very interesting finish.
Yeah, if they keep chipping away and their best route is through frees, then it's in the melting pot, like a mistake.
That's a big kick, I would suggest, with 16 minutes gone. In it goes, but a poor effort by Colin Quinn, straight into the hands of Johnny McGorn, and the gap remains at 5. Ryan Jones looked as if he was being fouled there by Patrick Reel. The referee says that is the case. So Eamon McHugh, good ball, quick ball down towards Gary McKenna. McKenna's got 1-2 to his name already. It could be 1-3. Still McKenna, caught in 2 minds. Might have to come back out with it. Does so. Gives it back there to the substitute that came on there a moment ago. That's Gavin McGovern. The ball goes out over the sideline. So the 2 McGovern brothers, Rian and Gavin, both on the field. As Enniskillen Gaels retrieve the situation there with Cian McHugh. A little bit of afters there by McHugh. Ball given away. Ball is in the back of the net. A goal for Derry Gonley. I've sort of taken my eye off it. Peter, hopefully you witnessed what happened there. I know that Rian McGovern got the goal, but how did the ball come about?
Colin Quinn was eventually used by the goalkeeper, and I don't know whether he couldn't see anybody, he hesitated on the ball and was turned over.
And the keeper was out, hassling with somebody on the ground.
Yeah, the keeper had been out, but it was a good finish.
It was.
Albeit there was no keeper in
yeah,
it, still had to get it on target.
Yeah. So Lee Jones off the field of play, but you would think, Peter, that's the goal that'll settle this contest.
Yes, we were talking about what the Gaels needed was a goal, and in fact now they're going to what the goal net says.
13-5, an 8-point gap. Ball fed forward to McGovern. His confidence is high. Rian McGovern, he has a man inside, looks at the post, steadies down, gets a shot away, over the bar it goes. What a minute or two it has been for Rian McGovern.
There's a man who wants to play in the championship against Ederney.
You're right, yeah. So Rian McGovern with a goal, and well, those 2 McGovern lads, full of potential, but struggled with injuries at times. But you know, if you get Rian McGovern and Gavin in full flow, they're hard to handle.
Yeah, and it's testimony to Dergonley's bench as well.
Ball goes out over the sideline, line ball for the men from Derry Gonley. Fed inside. Another opportunity from McGovern. Back in it goes. Oh, it's still in play, is it? No, it's gone to the left and right. It's Conor Burns is on the field of play there.
Yes,
substitutes are having a big impact.
Yes, they're coming in, they're fresh and they're keen to make an impression. But in fairness to Cian Newman, I thought he did very well there, the way he came out, advanced quickly, because it looked like a gimme for a score.
So number 18 is Danny Keenan, and he replaces number 12, that's Colin Quinn. So Colin Quinn's day is done. Worked tirelessly throughout. Another change is Paul Ward. Imagine if you're a retired defender and you see Paul Ward coming at you. It looks like it's warming up there. Oh, it's Roland McHugh, is it? Oh, sorry, I thought it was. Ball fed in. Opportunity again for McKenna. He's put up the arm a couple of times, but referee indicates that he overcarried.
The ball might have been kicked 50 yards, but it wasn't kicked from outside the 45.
Outside the 45, yeah.
It never was.
So,
but Derry since they did those couple of substitutions, and they'll probably take credit for it. They've literally been camped in the Gaels half.
Imagine me mixing up Paul Ward and Roland McHugh. There must be 20 years of difference between them. Must tell Wardy that.
I'll leave that with you.
Wardy will be delighted, so you. Oisin Smith has been brought off, but Oisin Smith will be really, really pleased, particularly with the first half performance.
Yes, and he's a bit of a utility player for Derry. He has played midfield, he has played wing half. He can play virtually anywhere.
Well, he's played exceptionally well this afternoon, has to be said, as the ball is fed forward, looking for Conor McShea. Back inside it goes to Kelly. Still foraging for it. The shot goes in from Conor Love. Conor Love hasn't really got going today either. He's been well marshalled.
Yes, and who was in the middle of all that defensive play there? But but Cassidy.
Aye.
Decky orchestrating the press, the pressure.
Phenomenal energy levels as Declan Cassidy, it has to be said. Not a great kick out on this occasion by Johnny McGurn.
Is that the first one?
I think that's probably the first one I've noted anyway. He's kicked away. Owen Beacom floats it in. Up the go for it. Mickey Jones, man I haven't mentioned too much today, doing an effective job back in that full back line, along with Tiernan Daly and Aaron Jones. Marshall Connor Love, very well in there. As the ball is fed forward close to the sideline, Stephen McGullion does well, lays it back. Derry Connolly comfortable in this game, 2-8 to 5 points. Sean Flanagan, Paul Green and Mickey Glynn still kicking every ball down there, agitated until the final whistle goes, I suppose, as the ball is in the hands of Aaron Jones. Jones goes cross field, retains possession.
Yes, and how confident and mature Aaron Jones looked on the ball there, and he's a relatively young player compared to some of the more experienced Aragonley boys.
Yeah, just 19 years of age, Peter. So
yeah, so when you're playing with these guys, it rubs off on you.
There's another man I'm just thinking I haven't mentioned much today is Colin Jones. Been reasonably quiet.
Yeah, I suppose I was thinking about James Ferguson. James Ferguson is very, very quick, and but Conan was looking for a long ball played in here. Now, he was involved in the goal.
I do.
It was
Yeah,
him,
he was.
it was
Yeah,
him caused the problems.
yeah. So ball in the hands of Decky Cassidy. Who else? Threads the ball now, looking for. That's an example of Colin Jones using his power and his strength, but he's faced up there by James Ferguson. Ferguson had the pace to get out in front, but just slipped at the crucial time.
And Conan had the cuteness to
to put his body in
to
front of him.
off
Yeah,
his body. And eventually drew the free.
yeah. Picked up a fairly heavy hit there, it has to be said as well. As
I'm not saying he didn't deserve the
no,
free.
he definitely deserved the free. There's no doubt about that.
Replacing number 7, Patrick Greenwood.
So 23 is Connor Watson, a grandson of the great Peter Watson.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Peter's about here somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, there he is, up to our left.
Yeah.
He'll be delighted to see Connor on here, albeit he'll not be delighted with the score. A legend of Fermanagh football, it has to be said. Peter Watson. I first came to the commentary boxes, and that's a lot of years ago. Peter was the man who always looked after me and guided me. As Colin Jones.
So there's 9 points in it now with not that long left. I suppose you'd have to say it's a fair enough reflection on the way the game is going.
Oh, look, overall it's been disappointing as a contest, hasn't it?
Well, look at in fairness, the weather, the underfoot conditions. Decky Cassidy gets a round of applause there as he exits.
Exits the stage.
Yeah, but it's not. The Cales made a lot of small mistakes. The Dergonley press caused them problems. They missed a few frees. You know, they did things that they didn't need to do if they hoped to win.
There were a lot of possession, as you said, in the second quarter, but they didn't capitalise on that possession. Basic errors, ball not sticking, poor choice of passes. And those are the things that Enniskillen Gales will have to look at very, very closely ahead of championship starting in a few weeks' time. As Colin Jones extends the lead out to 15 points, 10-point game here in Brewster Park. 28 minutes played in the second half, a couple of minutes for the water break and a couple of minutes for the substitutions and the injuries. Of course, Enniskillen lost Callum Jones early in the game to an injury, had to suffer a black card for 10 minutes as well. So just nothing has really went their way today. Only kicked 5 points. Looking through those 5 points, and 3 of them came from frees. They've only kicked 2 points from play. As Johnny Cassidy tries to adjust that statistic, gets the shot away, but it's gone to the right hand side and gone wide. And 2 points from in an Irish football from play, Peter, just isn't good enough.
Well, look, I think it's testimony to the conditions and Derrygonley's place. Like, if you're not up for it, if you're not doing everything as well as you possibly can, you're not going to come any speed against an experienced Derrygonley team.
Yeah. Well, the referee said that there was no advantage there being accrued by Johnny Castey, and therefore he brings the ball back and gives Conor Love the opportunity to take the free, and he duly obliges by popping the ball over the bar, make it 2-9 to 6 in this Westfield Hotel Fermanagh Division 1 League final. Wherever you are in the world watching this broadcast, we hope you're enjoying it. It's a dark, dank afternoon here in Enniskillen, as the men from Derrygonley go forward and look as if they're very, very likely to pick up their 6th league title crown. 59, 2002, 2015, 2016, and the last time it was played, 2019. In fact, this is only the 2nd league final in 4 years. 2018 final wasn't played at all. 2020 didn't occur because of COVID. So 2 league finals in 4 years, and Derrygonley have won both of them, 2019 and 2021 by the looks of things, as Owen Beacom comes forward, lays it back for Love, an injection of pace from Love, but again slips on the difficult conditions, and the ball is cleared down the field towards Gavin McGovern. McGovern tries to get his hands on it, was picked up there by Brandon Horn. Horn for Enniskillen Gales. Winners 8 times, last time in 2001, 20 years ago since Enniskillen Gales last won the league title. They'll have to wait another one. 5 minutes of additional time. 9 points between the sides. Richie O'Callaghan working very, very hard, wins the free. But again, Derrygonley so hard to break down in open play. Like, really, Enniskillen Gales have been living off scraps in this second half, and all their scores in this second half have came from frees, Peter.
Yes, and I suppose all they're going to have to do is get back, stop the goal, put pressure on the shot. Now there have been a couple of frees they've given away that they'll be disappointed with.
It curled vitally at the last second. There was moans and groans when that one was kicked, but Conor Love knew what he was at. He curled it inside the left hand upright. That brings his tally to 4, and the Enniskillen Gales tally to 7. 32 minutes played. Free goes the way of, see, Sean Jones saying hello there, Peter, an colleague of yours. Watching out in New York, I'm sure. He'd be enjoying this performance.
He'd be enjoying this performance, and he'd be enjoying them conditions if he was out there.
Indeed. He would relish them. Derrygonley with John McGurn in possession. They lead by 9 points. Ryan Jones spreads the play over the far side. McGullion, strong charging. Yeah, I think the referee got that one right.
No, I think so, yeah.
Barged into the Enniskillen Gales man. Taken quickly towards Richie O'Callaghan, but Tiernan Daly is an impressive game. Very, very brave on that occasion. Free is won by Enniskillen. Conor Love wanting to get on with it very quickly. There goes Love, kicks another one over the bar, but they're really consolation scores at this stage, bringing a little bit more respectability to the scoreline. They've kicked the last 3 points through frees from Conor Love, which means it's 15-8, 7-point game.
Yes, and I suppose if you that speak goals win games, has been very much the case. The goals have dictated this game. The goal that Derrygonley got very, very early on give them a bit of breathing space, put a bit of daylight between the two teams, and then the opportunist goal that they scored later on nearly put a seal on it.
Yeah, that second goal killed the game. It was 1-7-5. It was double scores at that stage, and that goal put it out to 13-5, and then 2 quick points from Rian McGovern and Colin Jones, as Derrygonley want to seal the deal now with another score from Lee Jones. Oh, brilliant goal. Oh no, side netting. Thought it was in the back of the net, Peter.
Yeah. Just when you saw the net shaking,
Yeah.
and the water splashing off it.
Yeah.
And Lee has just been introduced, so their substitutes have done well.
They have a strong panel.
Strong
panel.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Garvin McGinley there as well. He's forged hard for Derry Gonley over the years. So too Neil Gallagher. They have that experience. Paul Ward there as well. And they've Shane McGullion, of course, to come back.
Yes.
So when you add them types of players into this squad here, it's hugely competitive for places in the team.
Yes, and you talked earlier on about their age profile. How much older they were than the Gales, but they have got that youth coming in to inject enthusiasm, fitness, and quality.
And keeping them older players on their toes, knowing that there's no set jersey set aside for anybody.
Yeah, we've talked a couple of times about hunger today. Often that hunger can be, you can build that hunger by not being sure of your place.
Yeah.
You get a chance, you need to put your name on it.
Well, you look at the likes of Oisin Smith, who has forced his way into this Derry Gonley side. Impressive performance today, hungry to keep the jersey, as Brandon Horn lets fly from distance, but disappointing effort from Brandon. And
it sort of sums up Enniskillen's day, to be honest.
And Brandon as well. He just has been the influence. I suppose he's missed a fair bit of league football this year with injury, but he needs plenty of game time, I would suggest.
Yeah, and of course, going into the championship, he's still got, 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks. They play this to 3 weeks, I think, in Ederney against Tempo, so his fitness should improve. But just a general lack of energy that Enniskillen have displayed in the middle third.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Full-time whistle is blown by Gerard Gallagher. Two managers down below us, Sean Flanagan and John Reel, exchange pleasantries, as does Mickey Glynn and John Reel. Players shake hands. Has to be said, it was a very sporting game. No real poor challenges. It was played in difficult conditions, but Derry Gonley, it has to be said, Peter, over they are the more superior side in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we wondered it before the match about the Derry Gonley's experience, their strength, their knowledge, and the fact that they wouldn't panic. Compare that to the Gales' youth, enthusiasm, and so on, and like the Derry Gonley experience trumped the Gales' youth and inexperience, I suppose you'd nearly call it.
Yeah. Is this a significant setback for Enniskillen Gales?
I don't think so. They're on a fairly long trajectory, but you can only be a coming team for so long. Eventually, you have to start putting down markers and arriving. So look at this. The championship has still to come. If Ederney have their way, Derry Gonley won't be in the championship. So there's still, the year is not lost. In other years, this would have been the final game of the year, and it just would have been a hateful way to tail off and sit over the winter, thinking about how things didn't go and what might happen next year. But they've just got a couple of days now to get their act together, back into training with something to look forward to and something that they'll consider very achievable.
A fair bit to work on, I would suggest, for Enniskillen Gales. Their style of play, it looks like to me, Peter, that they want to kick it long.
Yes, and look at against. I know from Slay's point of view, against them.
Yeah, we'll just take.
Just like, first of all, before I present the Westfield Hotel Senior Football League 1 trophy, I'd like to thank the Westfield Hotel, Gavin Cassidy with me there up to a few minutes ago, for their sponsorship of both our adult league competitions, the finals of which were played here today. And on that note, I'd like to thank Host Club Enniskillen Gales and all their members who have worked to prepare Brewster Park for our league finals here today. I'd like to thank Gerard, the referee here today, and his team of match officials for contributing. Commiserations to Enniskillen Gales today wasn't your day, but you have the championship to look forward to in the coming few weeks. So plenty to play for yet. Congratulations to Derrygonnelly Harps. You brought all your experience to bear here today. That was very evident, and were worthy winners of the Division 1 Football League. You had topped the table, and therefore justice was done, you could say. So without further ado, I can't actually present the trophy or hand over the trophy to Derrygonnelly Harps captain Michael Jones, but I can invite him to lift it. Gormila Mag of Kildare.
I just want to thank Ennisgill and Gales for the facilities here. The ground stuck it out well after all the rain. And firstly, Ennisgill put up a fight as usual. We showed a wee bit of character and ended up to push home, but just give Ennisgill a round of applause and thanks very much for a hard game. Supporters, good to see you. It's like 16th man here, pushing us on every time, shouting and roaring. Thanks very much. Just here to the management and all the backroom staff here in the Derrygonnelly, working hard, week in, week out, working right through. Thanks very much, Fla and Dino and all you know yourselves. I want to thank Jerry, the referee, and his match officials. Thank you. And lastly, wives and girlfriends and whatever, thanks for the time off. We need another few hours now after this. That's all I have to say, folks. Hup.
So Mickey Jones lifts the cup on behalf of Derrygonnelly Harps. As I said, victors in the first trophy in the league was lifted in 59, then 2002, 2015, 2016, 2019. So they are the current holders because the competition wasn't played in 2020. So Mickey Jones, the captain of the team, is going to join us here on Fermanagh GA TV. We get a quick word with Mickey because he has the cup with him. Mickey, congratulations, lad.
Thanks very much.
Another piece of silverware for Derrygonnelly Harps and another piece for yourself to bring home. I'm sure you're delighted.
Delighted now that this year that the league is actually finished out and we got to play the league final. You know, it's hard when you play all year and nothing come off it with the COVID, but thankfully this year we finished out and seen out the job.
Yeah, there was a hunger and determination about that performance, which I would suggest lays down a significant marker for the rest of the year.
Well, we've championship in a few weeks' time. It's only around the corner, so we have to sort of up the game. And look, the Gales pushed us hard there. We just got a goal or two. We just opened the game up, you know.
Yeah, the goals came at critical times. That goal early in the game settled things down. You went into a 1-3 to no score lead. And then, I suppose, if it was getting anywhere close in the second half, that second goal from Rian McGovern, who was only on the field of play, killed it.
We have a pile of young boys coming through, Jet. Like, pushing on. We have 30 boys there every week, pushing to get a place. So it's good to get game time here as well. And championship again's only around the corner, so we're pushing us older boys out, I'm afraid.
I think, speaking of older boys, and I'm conscious that your colleagues are waiting on you down there to bring down the cup, but Declan Cassidy was a colossus out there today.
Yeah, very good. No, Decky's been like myself. He's been riddled with injuries. And there's that bit of backbone fight in him, you know.
And strength and depth is so crucial to this Derrygonnelly side, and all the subs that came on done exceptionally well again today.
Yeah, no, that's what it's all about. The 15 will never never pull you through. It's the subs that's finishing out the games and trainings and everything. They're a big help.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let you go because your teammates are waiting on you down there. Thanks for joining us here on Fermanagh GA TV.
Thank you,
and the best of luck in the championship, and we look forward to watching yourselves in Edinburgh in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, thank you.
Good man.
Thanks,
That's Mickey Jones. We're very grateful to Mickey for joining us here on Fermanagh GA TV this afternoon. Prior to bringing the cup down to his teammates, we'll just wait till he brings. We'll see the scenes down on pitch side now as Michael Jones goes down the steps with his two girls and them helping him carry down the cup, and there'll be a nice bit of celebration when Mickey joins the rest of his teammates on the pitch side here in a wet and dank Enniskillen this afternoon, but plenty of joy down there in front of us as Mickey Jones joins the team with the cup and the photograph that will be looked at for in the papers this week and for many years to come as Derry Gonley are crowned league champions. Westfield Hotel Fermanagh League champions for 2021. They have defeated Enniskillen Gaels here in Brewster Park in this final on a final score of 2-9 to Enniskillen's 8 points. So that brings the league season to a close here in Fermanagh. Earlier on today, St Pat's defeated Derry Lynn in a high scoring and entertaining Division 2 final. St Pat's winning 4-12 to 1-11. So the silverware today, after today, will reside out in Donagh and out in Derry Gonley. The league titles, but who will win the junior, the intermediate and the senior championships? We will know that over the coming weeks as we start the championship campaign in a few weeks' time. So keep with us here on Fermanagh GA TV. All the games will be broadcast live on Fermanagh GA TV. Sponsored by Monaghan Brothers, of course, and we thank them for their sponsorship of Fermanagh GA TV. But for now, here in Brewster Park this evening, it's all smiles from the men from Donagh and the men from Derry Gonley as they bring the silverware home. Thanks for joining us, and until we meet again, slán go fóill.